From the high desert and the great American Southwest, I bid you all good evening or good morning as the case may be across all these many, many prolific time zones. From the Hawaiian and Tahitian island chains in the west, eastward, across flyover country to the Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Caribbean, where Montserrat continues to smoke and choke into South America, north to the pole, this is Coast to Coast AM, the largest live overnight talk radio program in America. Isn't that amazing? I'm Art Bell. And we will do open lines tonight with one little exception. Now, last night I was feeling a little bit under the weather, so I wasn't here, and you got to hear a repeat. Now, as you know, I had planned to do my Area 51 employee line. So we didn't do that, so we'll do it tonight. This should be interesting. It is your chance to sing like a bird. If you are currently employed at Area 51, the area the U.S. government says officially does not exist, or if you have been employed at Area 51 in the past and now feel ready to sing, perhaps you can call up and disguise your voice or something, I don't know. Anyway, something like that, and if you want to call up and sing, it's going to be your night to sing. It would be fun to see if we get any calls. Now, what I'm going to do is suspend my first-time caller line, which, of course, is area code 702-727-1222, and that is now officially, as of this moment, the Area 51 singing line. All right? So only if you have worked at Area 51, or you presently work at Area 51, should you call area code 702-727-1222. What else is going on in the world? Well, I told you, we're trying to get an update from Daniel Brinkley. Let me take a quick break and see if I can get this handled, because I asked Daniel if he would like to do an update tonight. He said he would. Daniel, is this perchance you? Oh, hi, Daniel. How are you doing? I'm so glad to hear from you. I thought, the show got started and my phone lines are ringing and you'd never make it through, and so I managed to get a line for you. That's great.
You're a great man.
Thank you. Tell if you are up to it, Daniel. Tell everybody what happened to you, when it happened, and what's happened since. What happened to you?
Well, I was dealing with a hospice patient, Art, and I'm a person who has to have, I don't like to tell my whole medical life, but I have to take anticoagulants because I have a heart valve, and I have to take tests for staph infections, and I have to watch out for all these things that could kill me. And by the regulations, since the medicine I take is the anticoagulant, it's like Coumadin, which is the same basic ingredient of decon.
Rat poison.
Yeah, and I take enormous amounts of it, and if it gets slightest thing could deregulate it, and in the course of running and doing like everybody who does out in everyday life, I just don't like people dying alone, and I work so hard to try to piece that together, and I stay so driven at it, and I got my levels down low, and I called the doctor, and we stepped them up, and I didn't get a chance to take the test so that I could watch it on a regular thing, and it's just, I've lived with this for 8 years since the heart valve, and I've never missed it this bad, but it came the holidays, and I was working with I got another veteran, and he was at that place, so I had to be there. And I was tired, and then I got right back up, and I popped a blood vessel.
So what happened is you got your regimen sort of out of order.
Well, yeah, it went from the place where I go in. When we talked the last time, when we were on the phone, it had just dropped to like in the 12s and the 13s, which means my heart valve clogs, and I'm dead from my body coagulating the blood. And then when I got to adjust it, and as it was adjusted, it adjusted way too high, and it went to 44, which means literally passing out, and I was bleeding in my brain, and I didn't go through this except that I couldn't stand up, and I started blacking out, and it's been a long time since I'd had those kinds of pains and headaches and stuff, and I called my doctor, and he says, look, you're at over 45, that means, you're right there. get here. And by the time I got to the emergency room, I didn't know where I was. I was drifting in that place, and then I'd started bleeding in my brain, and
they found 3 aneurysms, didn't they?
Yeah.
3 areas where you were.
What had happened? 2 small ones and a large one, and it just started pouring blood into my brain, and the pressure started to where I lost movement on my left side, and they got me here, and they started to work on it. I mean, brain scans and all that kind of stuff, and they were looking to see, because of so much Coumadin, so much anticoagulant, that this stuff was pouring out of my brain, and that they were going to have to crack my skull open and a third of my skull and go in and try to stop them, but they couldn't do that because it would create 15 to 20 more clots when they closed that up, which would have to pass through the heart valve. And then they started looking at what would rescind and how they were going to drill holes in my skull, and then worry about how to break the clots up moving through my heart so it didn't damage the heart valve.
Well, I remember you're saying, when things were really rough, that they wanted to drill holes in your head and they wanted to open up your chest so that when the clots passed, they would have immediate access to your heart. In other words, they'd already have you opened up.
Yeah.
And you said,
I mean, it's not like the old days when they cut your chest wide open. In the old days, they split me from my neck all the way down to my stomach, and they spread it open. It's now like 4-inch stuff. It's not like, it's tough, but science is better. I've learned a lot about medicine in 8 years. But when we finish, so they were going to have to do that and then watch it, and you'd have to thin the blood for surgery. I can't have blood that coagulates, which would keep me alive, because that'll clog my heart valve and my heart would stop.
Right.
And that's just the place where I was.
So you told them no. You said, no, you're not going to open up my chest.
Absolutely not. Are they crazy? I figured that if I could stop the bleeding internally, if I could get inside of myself, I've done it before. I live here. We are spiritual beings, and the pain was so great, I had to get in myself. When they got me into intensive care, better living through chemistry is one thing, Art, but the true nature of us is a spiritual being that draws deep down inside of ourselves, alone and when it is, and that we have the potential to do it. And what was so remarkable for me was that the moment people started hearing it, as I was struggling there and I was drifting in those worlds, I live in those 3 worlds like I write about in my books, and I live there. And this is who I am. It's amazing even to me as I lie here and I'm looking at the ceiling, the suspended acoustical ceiling, in a room, in a hospital, like 8 years ago. I looked at the ceiling before open heart surgery. I've been looking at this ceiling for brain surgery or heart attacks or strokes for 4 days in enormous pain, covered in a bruise, not knowing where I am, pumping these chemicals through me.
I asked you, Dan, you remember I asked you, you said you were bruising, and I said, you mean you've got bruises all over? And you said, no, I am a bruise.
No, I am a bruise. It's unbelievable. I am purple. I'm a bruise because of just the stuff that you go through, Art.
You've got 4 IVs in you right now?
Mm-hmm.
4 IVs right now. And you're on the phone. Oh, Daniel. Tell me, did it bring back memories, Daniel, lying there looking at the ceiling again?
Art, try this one, Art. This is September. It was a thunderstorm this morning when I woke up. For the first time, I'm off the list. I'm looking at this ceiling again like I did before. September the 17th at 7:05 p.m. 1975, I got struck by lightning and I woke to a thunderstorm this morning. And just a few days from now will be 22 years. 22 years ago.
Wow.
Now I've been through struck by lightning in 1975 and struck by lightning in 1978. I've been through dealing with being paralyzed and getting up over that and struggling through 2 years of learning to walk and feed myself, and so much madness and struggling, and then trying to fulfill a vision and staying so driven. It's amazing what you see when you sit here and so driven. And then to look at how much I've been gone through, and then here I come, September. and I'm almost right there again. It's like they never let me get over the fact that sometimes I might try to forget that this is what's really happening to me in my life.
Did you think that you were going to live through this one, or were there moments?
They had moments. I didn't have them.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about you.
No, the doctors had them. And I was hurting so bad, sometimes I didn't really care, Art. But I'm staying. We are living in the greatest times ever.
So, Daniel, the late news on you is all 3 of the aneurysms stopped bleeding. There are clots, but they're beginning to dissolve now, right?
Well, 2 of them are, and then there's one that they have to worry about.
You still can't sit up or stand up, can you?
I can't walk too far, but, you know, and they pump so much blood thinner through me, and they're trying to balance the chemistry in me, because if they don't balance the chemistry, something can happen, and the clot can move, and if the clot moves, then it all starts again, and the pain is always in my head. But here was the key. I was laying in that intensive care and people dying around me. I'm thinking of who I am again. Here I am, not the guy that's the hospice volunteer.
But one of the
guy
guys.
that's the hospice volunteer, the guy that's out talking and lecturing. I'm the guy that I'm out there for.
Yeah.
I'm him, and I'm looking at an acoustical ceiling.
Well, you were in there with a lot of people at first, and I remember you said you had to get out of there because I'm just laying it out for the audience. I remember you telling me there were people dying all around me, and I couldn't concentrate.
Well, all right, it's amazing what's happening to me as I begin to be the perceptions about things. But in my life, I always deal with my stuff inside because I heal from the inside out. Like everybody, we're spiritual.
So you heal yourself, and under those conditions, I take it you couldn't do that.
I was picking up. They got me there. My head's splitting open. I can't hardly think. I can't think, and I can't put myself in an order. I just have to try to get away from the pain and determine what's wrong with me. And then the emergency room wasn't so bad. There were just a couple of things. But they moved me to intensive care right in front of the ward because I'm in really bad trouble. Mm-hmm. And so a little 20-year-old girl with asthma, her lungs are collapsed. They're ventilating, they're popping her open. A lady with cancer is right next to her, and there was one hollering, and they're rushing in and out, and I can't get inside because I'm feeling those emotions, and I'm picking up all those psychologies that my mind normally picks up because I deal with hospice and these kinds of situations, except it's happening to me too.
So you had to get inward, and all that noise and all of those feelings that you were absorbing around you.
All those sounds that people make when they're thinking without knowing we are spiritual. This is what I gain the most time in art. In this world of where medicine is, it's better living through chemistry because chemistry's helped me. It's helped me right here. But I've seen it again, how terrified people are because they forget how spiritual we are and how interconnected that we are and how truly loving and close every single one of us are. And how I know is I didn't know you went on the air and told people to think about me and to send me love and to send prayers or thoughts or whatever that they would want to do. But I felt it.
I did, Daniel, because I believe in the power of prayer.
Art, listen to me. If you were lying right now, if you were trying to tell me that you did not do it, I would know you were a liar. Because through that phone and through this place, all of a sudden, I began to be bathed in a love of energy that could only be somebody loving me, not somebody concerned with my health, but somebody loving me to take a time from a moment from their job or from what they were doing, and I'm in here hurting, and to think about whoever they knew about me or whatever they knew about me, to care about me. The room filled with a blue hue, and I'm not on drugs or anything. I live in this world, and I see it, and I'm bathed in it, and I'm watching it, and I see myself starting to break and come out of it, where I say, no surgery, we're not going to do it, let me fight it, let me fight it, let me fight it, and I would do things I listen to music 8 hours a day. I put on Stephen Halpern and the healing tapes, some guided imagery tapes, and I stayed deep inside myself And I kept pulling that love.
You know, I talked to your cousin who took you to the hospital. He said you began that process. He said, as a matter of fact, Daniel hardly said 2 words to me all the way to the hospital. He started
a 2-hour drive.
He started to go into himself at that point before he even got to the doctor. Is that right?
Yeah, but you see, Art, I didn't know he told you that. But Art, in the way that I've learned through 22 years of near-death experiences, in the way that I've learned and I've looked at the vision that I had, I never ever put it into the true context that everybody else was out there just like me, and that we're close together, and the people who listen to this radio show and the whole world together, we have a connection to each other that somewhere exists within the framework of our mental and physical dynamic, and it's a spiritual dynamic. And it's there because I go insideward. I know where that spiritual place is. I built the center for why I have it down in, why I built the centers, why I write the books, why I work on it. That's why I did it.
All right, I want to talk to you about the spiritual side. We're spiritual beings inside physical bodies. Daniel, hold on. We're at the bottom of the hour. Can you hold tight?
Sure,
All right.
Thanks, Art.
All right, hang tight. We'll be right back. From the high desert, this is Coast to Coast AM. I'm Art Bell. With us from his hospital room, Daniel Brinkley. Back now to an unidentified area in the south where Daniel Brinkley is sitting in a hospital room. Not exactly a unknown thing for Daniel. How you doing, Daniel? Still there?
I'm doing pretty good, Art. I'd like to tell everybody else that this is really good therapy for me.
Being on the air?
Well, I've been on this bed a long time, and it's been through a lot of stuff like learning about what other people are still going back through, and thinking about how much they have helped me, and how much the whole point of what we're all about as friends and part of people, and what the Art Bell Show is about, and the people of the night, is that we love each other and we care about each other, and that they can send love to me, and that I can lay in this room and I can feel it now. I can lay in this room covered in bruises, but coming out of it, and I can feel that love now. And when people were sending me all that love, Art, people like Larry Dawsey, who wrote a book on prayer, I was able to listen, because I read and think about prayer, to take those prayers and that love and those thoughts that were being sent to me and convert it to me as a useful product.
Can I ask you a question about prayer, Daniel?
Sure.
I wonder about prayer a lot. There is no question in my mind. Prayer works. For yourself, for others, prayer works. But I'm not sure why. And it's funny, Daniel, when you were at the worst, CNN was running a thing about prayer, the power of prayer. And they had a doctor on, and he said, 70 to 90%, somewhere in there, of people who take placebos will declare there to be an improvement in whatever condition they took them for.
And 45% have a true and lasting result.
That's exactly right. He said, so I don't know if it's God, but I know it works. This was a doctor.
I don't have any... Listen, Art, that's not God. That's the divine might and power and the spirit within each of us as spiritual beings within this physical body. The moment I got in this hospital, Art, no matter how dying I am, no matter how much it hurts and I can't think and I can't see, I get a full spectrum light enzyme. I make sure that the people close to me have me enough of trace minerals that I can take in small supplements. I get celery, I get pears, I get prunes, and I'll get one or two other things like a fruit, a papaya that has a strong, with a lot of PABA in it. And that's all I eat, and I drink water. When you come to a hospital, everybody eats the same meals, they do the same stuff.
Yep.
But I'm not doing that. This is a place that should be hallowed and a place to come to heal, and a sanctuary, and it's just better living through chemistry and maintenance. And
so you've got people slipping food in for you.
Well, I bring my stuff with me.
That's what I mean.
Put it in the bag. I've been here before, and I know what this body must have certain things in it full. It must have its trace minerals. It must have this, and nutrition is not a part of medicine.
You are listening to the best of Art Bell.
From the Kingdom of Nye, Coast to Coast AM continues with Art Bell.
What do your doctors say? I mean, here you refused a lot of the treatment. They said, what are they saying? How are they accounting for the way you're healing?
Well, my cardiologist, which has been with me 8 years, who's an Army doctor who's really cool, he leaves me alone because he told me, he said, you know, you should have been dead years ago. He leaves me alone because he knows I can go inward. Because once you've been dead, Art, and you know you don't die, and this is all about what prayer is, and you know you don't die, then what do you do and what lives on? We have energy fields of bodies around us, and I swear this to everybody listening, this is not a story, this is what we really have. We have energy fields around us, and by going through being dead, I've seen them. And when you're in trouble in your physical self, you have to work in those energy fields. You must get to those energy fields to work.
How do you do that?
Well, you do it through like the foods the supplements that you're just talking about, really taking a good look at your spiritual self, finding practical spirituality and practicing things like meditating. I've listened to music 8 hours a day, inner sancting music with my earplug. I never not take my earplugs out, and I bear the pain, and I focus in my body to heal. I change my blood pressure in here. If I need the blood pressure at a certain place, and the nurses, they act funny, and my cardiologist he's just been with me for so long, and he knows that I use alternatives, and I use compatible medicines, and I use energy medicines and Qigong.
Well, does he agree with you? I mean, does he understand? He's seen it enough so he knows it works now, and he doesn't shake his finger at you?
All of them do that, but I'm still here. What are you supposed to say?
Yeah.
I'm here. And, you know, better living through chemistries where medicine is today. I've learned this. They are dealing with bicarbs. They are dealing with blood gases. They're dealing with tumors. Doctors, and I have two really good ones, the neurosurgeon and the neurologist and the cardiologist, all three of them, because it's so complicated. They're chemists. We must put the art of healing back into this system. This is what's missing from it, and prayer comes into play. Prayer works. Prayer is not some religious point factor.
You know, this doctor on CNN, Daniel, what he said was, the key word seems to be faith, whether it's faith in a placebo or faith in God or faith in your spiritual self, whatever it is, the key word, he said, is faith. If you have faith, you can cure yourself.
He's wrong.
How would you say?
It's the love of yourself. In order for those people, Art, on your show, and everybody from the bottom of my heart, from my soul, for every moment that you took from your jobs and you place and you thought about me, I felt it.
So it's as real as anything in the world. It's not a placebo, it's real.
Hey, it's more real than anything in this world. It's not faith, it's love. The love of ourselves and the love of someone else to give to someone else. Having faith is a belief system in something. I do not have to believe. I do not have to have faith. This night, as I lay in this room knowing I'm going to get up and I'm going to make it again, and I'm going to come back caring more and loving more about people and helping more in people facing these issues, that I am now one of them again looking at the ceiling. When you go before surgery and you're looking at the ceiling of a hospital, what you're looking at is acoustical ceiling. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, that's your life. I mean, all you're seeing is the ceiling.
Well, I haven't looked at one of these in a long time, Art, and I'm looking at one.
Yeah, I remember, I think I told you, Danny, 30 days on my back because of my back, and I learned every little tiny, I used to take Bic lighters, Daniel, and laying on my back, that was my only exercise. I'd throw a Bic lighter up and see if I could just knock one of those little curly things off. You just start doing dumb stuff like that. You're right, you go inside yourself.
But see, Art, we have people lying in his place. This is a stroke ward is where I'm on now. Mm-hmm. We have people lying in a stroke ward, waiting to have surgery.
Or a stroke.
And they don't have a spiritual place. They don't have it. They don't have a place where we've included within the framework of the new ways of medicine and what's going on, that spiritual place. And that's what I've learned, because I lie here not afraid. I just hurt. And I'm not afraid. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm staying inward. I'm trained and I'm looking. I'm watching. But no one's ever taught it to them. And you can bet that the love that was sent to me came to people around me. I watched the nurses who came into this room. I watched the people and how they've reacted because they see and feel the kind of love that's in here. Love works. Power works. We are spiritual beings. We have the ability to change and alter so much stuff, and I never thought I'd ever see the day that I would want to stay here on this side as opposed to return to the other side. But I'll tell you something. I wouldn't miss the next 5 or 6 years of what's going to happen in the quickening and in the things for anything. But we have to look at, if we were able to do this for one another, like you've done for me, and that spiritual place that we are, that now everybody, because you're listening to me tell you this, the spiritual place that we are, we have the power to change many things if we took something just one day today. We all, as art knots, like astronauts, is what I call us, that we cared and loved something. We focused on something.
You really think that massive spiritual intervention can stop what might be coming otherwise?
As much as I hate to admit this for the first time in my life, Art Bell, I have to say yes. I would have never, no one could have gotten me. I have felt and seen in my own self as just a guy lying here where three out of every five men in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer. 1 out of every 3 women will have breast cancer. I've been reading the statistics as I lie here and face myself.
Yeah, I know.
This is everybody I know. And within the context of this healing institution, this chemistry place I'm in, to be able to put love back in here. And I see the importance of my hospice, but I see the importance of putting a practical spirituality and understanding the near-death experience and the dynamics of our energy bodies, and how those energy bodies, and to be touched and to be cared about. There's nothing to do with fate. We are powerful and mighty interconnected spiritual beings. We have greatness, we have destiny, and damn it, we have purpose. And we are connected, and I don't care what chemists say and scientists say, because I'm coming out of it.
I've got a question for you, Daniel. I've got a question for you. Remember when you were struck by lightning?
Oh, no, Art, I just forgot that one out.
Yeah, no, all right. Let me finish the sentence. When you were struck by lightning, you acquired a lot of psychic ability, really more than you wanted. You were hearing people and things crashing around you mentally, hearing people's thoughts. And then you told me in the last interview we did that began to slowly fade over the years. And what I'm wondering is, and the reason I'm asking this is because the other day you said it came suddenly rushing back with what just happened to you over the last week or so. Is that right? It came rushing back?
Something's happening to me, Art. it's not like being struck by lightning and the dramatics of what happened in Chiropractic medicine and the lightning shaman story. But never, that I was struck by lightning, that changed me. I was, been through trauma. I open heart surgery.
Yep.
I was close to that place again, but it was the love of people that felt like I had done something that contributed to their lives. That is the most amazing thing to me in my existence, that the kind of love that I have felt that strengthened me and opened up through this trauma, like everybody thinks happened in trauma, that opens up a whole different spiritual way for me to look at myself.
Maybe your brain starts doing something a little differently when it's facing the ultimate trauma, huh?
Art, I've been through all that brain stuff doing stories with lightning. We are spiritual beings. And what has occurred is I'm watching myself change. I'm moving into it's a different level of how I perceive. I am perceiving more things, but it's of a different level. I can't say, hey, Art, I understand it right now. I can understand reading people's minds. I do this without any problem.
I know.
It's child's play. I'm looking at more dimensions of stuff that I don't really understand. I don't really understand them, but it's pretty wild to see that they exist in there and how wonderful it is. We must, as Art Bell Show, we must pick our subjects, we must plan our times, and we must send our love and our power and our strength to surround it, protect it, and help it grow. And we must plan it, and we must do this, because I've never seen the outpouring of love that I've ever felt in my life for people saying thank you for Daniel for something you've done to help me. And that one single part of it is the greatest transformation in me, but it's opening up whole dimensions of me. But if we can do it for me, we can do it for each other.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We can do it for each other. So, Art, don't listen for just this one night. Let your mind flow and realize that there's a great and wondrous spiritual world that we are all an integrated part of. We are interconnected in divinity.
Well, Daniel, if you've got to be right, Daniel, because if you're,
I'm lying in this damned hospital bed, Art, with my brain stopped bleeding. I'm going to get up. I'm waiting for the blood clots to pass my heart so I don't slur my speech or make me stumble around. I have to get back up and start again in life, but with a deeper sense of commitment, a more devoted brotherhood to the people that listen to me, that I've helped in their lives, and that they return that love to me, and that it is changing me, and millions of people. There were hundreds of thousands of responses from everywhere, Art. It didn't 10 people. They were packing it everywhere.
One more thing. When you get back up, it'll be with a slower schedule, Daniel.
Yeah.
A slower schedule.
But I can see how I can do it. So the other thing, Art, and thanks for letting me talk, everybody, and thanks for just letting me do something other than this roof, because we must, without any question, take our practical spirituality, reincorporate it back in our lives, and put it in the healthcare system. I know that Medicaid and Medicare was destroying it, and it had to go somewhere. Money for health for profit has to be something good because it's America. But these people are scared. They're lying with strokes, and their families are in the halls, and they are scared because they don't have the kind of love that you people send to me to this night, and that I know from being what I've been through, just that we are powerful spiritual beings, and I know where to go and what to do with that, because I've been having to deal with it for 22 years to stay alive. And they need us. And we need to talk about it and educate. And you know what, I'm hearing into politics, Art. You let me get on the air and I finally get to talk to somebody in the Access to Medical Treatment Act.
I know that means a lot to you.
It has got to be, from this bed, from where I'm looking at now, it has got to be one of the single most important pieces of legislation that we, in our spiritual health body, if we don't get access to medical treatment in alternative and compatible ways, which could be just have added to this program here with me, aromatherapy, color therapy, the kinds of things that I have in this room. They make fun of all the crystals and everything I've got piled up in this room, Art, and I tape them to my chest, and I have this headset on all day long, and they come in and see my charts and see what I'm looking at, and they shake their head, but I'm still here.
Well, who cares what they think, Daniel?
Oh, I care, because I want them to change.
Well, that's true from that point of view.
They're great doctors.
But I mean, right now, whatever saves your life is whatever saves your life, so...
They're great chemists, Art.
Yeah.
But they're not doctors. But we have to put that back in here. We have to.
All right, you're going to, with luck, Daniel, maybe you're out of there, what, in a week?
Yeah. If they can watch the clots. But I'm out of here now. I'm out of here now. Getting to talk to everybody and tell them how much I thank you, and getting to talk to Art Bell and let him be the person that tells the world that it isn't fate what placebo does. It's loving of ourselves and loving someone else, and that love changes and opens up us all, and we have proven it, and we can keep proving it and keep doing it.
All right, my friend, listen, we got to go, but Daniel, get better, and when you are, come see me.
I shall, and Art and everybody who's been there for me. You make me feel better tonight than I've felt in 8 days, and I love you very much, and I thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Daniel. Good night. This one's for you.
Art Bell.
Yes, I am here. Top of the morning, everybody. We spent the last hour, incredibly, with Daniel Brinkley in a hospital room with 4 IVs circulating. He's not out of the woods yet. He is facing the possibility of any one of these clots passing through his heart and stopping it cold. But you've been praying for him for the last week, and obviously from where he was, he has come a long way. And I don't think there could be any better update than for you to hear from him yourself. And I'm not sure, but this may be the first time there's ever been an interview like that from a hospital bed. Pretty remarkable stuff. All right, we are going to do now, I got diverted there for about an hour, but we are going to do an Area 51 line. Now listen to me very closely, because I know a lot of you don't listen. So listen to me, attention, everybody. What is normally my first-time caller line is now going to be an Area 51 employee singing line. You know that place that doesn't exist? I was telling somebody who happens to be in the studio with me right now, earlier tonight, that there is a VFW here in Pahrump, Nevada. And if you go up to that VFW about 4:30 in the morning, there will be a number of buses, unless, because I've talked about it, they've now changed it. I doubt it. I bet they're still there. Every morning about 4:30, 5 o'clock or so, and they're sitting there waiting for all these employees to go to Area 51. The funny thing is, right on the side of the buses, it says Area 51. It actually says Area 51. And one of these days, I'm going to go up there with a camera, and I'm going to take some pictures of those buses for you, and I'll put it up on the net. So anyway, we're going to be looking for people who either retired from Area 51 and can now talk, or people who presently work at Area 51 and wish to tell us what's going on up there, because we all have deep suspicions about what's happening up there. So I'm just going to sort of open a line and see what happens. Now, we may not get any calls. I have no way of knowing. You know, when I open these lines, I have no way of knowing. It is, however, ringing. Now, whether it's ringing from somebody who actually was at Area 51, or it's ringing because somebody isn't listening to me right now saying, don't call that line, I have no way of knowing, but we will find out shortly. Okay. Dare I venture forth to my Area 51 line? Sure I do. Let's see what we get. On my Area 51 line, you are on the air. Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Bell.
Hello there.
It's so good to hear you.
It's good to hear you, too. Are you going to tell us from where you are calling, or would you rather keep that secret?
I cannot tell you.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
But I can tell you who you can call, man. It is actually my first name.
What is your first name?
Yes, you can call me Steve.
Steve. Figures.
Oh, by the way, I was not the guy who sent all the faxes about the suitcase bombs. So
Okay.
I was not that guy.
Not that Steve.
No.
All right. Did you work, or do you work at Area 51?
I did, but more so to the point. I actually lived there for a time.
You lived there?
Yes.
Well, I guess I guess that makes sense in a way, that a lot of people who live there either commute from Las Vegas or my little town of Pahrump, or they actually reside there, which I bet they love, because then you can't go talk to people.
Well, actually, when you say Area 51, do you mean only Groom Lake?
Oh, no.
Or Pampooth?
Oh, no. I mean S4. I mean any of the interesting areas up there.
S4.
You worked at S4?
No, that's the area where I was living.
Oh, my. Now, S4 is where it is said they had the goodies.
Oh, yes. Yes, I haven't been ordered to discuss that.
I beg your pardon?
I've been ordered to discuss S4 tonight.
You've been ordered to discuss it?
Yes, they were aware of your show, and we knew it wasn't going to be on last night, so I just went to bed.
Oh, my. Well, you know, Bob Lazar, who lives in Las Vegas.
Very interesting man.
Yes, indeed. I've interviewed Bob Lazar.
Yes.
And he claims that there have been any number of saucers actual saucers, recovered saucers, back engineered, that he was part of that, and that they were flown out of S4. Can you confirm his story, for starters?
Yes, it happened before he was even there. At some point, there was occasions, but they were not meant to be flown in the air. That what you're seeing in the air is not coming from Area 51.
It isn't.
No, I mean, like UFOs and all that. None of that's coming from Area 51. Those things out there are broken, and the ones that he saw sitting there probably were in various states of disrepair, in my opinion.
Really?
Yes, and they were like where you have junk. Everybody's got junk. But if you've got junk like that, you're not going to take it to landfill. Makes sense, right?
No, you're not.
So you got to just kind of leave it sitting.
When you say junk, we should qualify that. Extraterrestrial junk?
What would you call extraterrestrial?
Something not of Earth origin?
Would Earth in a parallel timeline do?
You bet it would.
Would that qualify as extraterrestrial?
You're damn right.
Yeah.
In my mind, it would. In other words, it certainly is in the realm of the paranormal. So what you're telling me
Yes.
is that what's up there came not from another physical place, but another dimension parallel to ours.
Yes and no. It's both. The triangular objects were hand-me-downs that were no longer needed, and they were given to the people in the other timeline, who then turned against the people that originally gave them to them.
You're saying you were ordered to come and say all this tonight?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Why?
Because it is, yesterday was September 11th. It is September 11th on your time, isn't it?
It is still now September 11th, my time, yes.
It is the day that the Mars Surveyor enters the orbital phase of its mission.
You're exactly right. They have fired the slowing rockets, and I understand they have done that successfully, they believe. And this craft will go into a polar orbit around Mars, slowly mapping the entire planet.
It will be finished in March of the year 1998.
Uh-huh.
And
what do you think they'll find?
I already know what they're going to find.
Well, then that makes you a doubly valuable person. What, pray tell?
Okay. As they come down from the pole, at first they're going to be mapping an area that originally had a lot of water. So what would you see if you drained the ocean? A lot of dried up areas.
Silt, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's all solid rock, obviously, baked by the sun and all that. When you get down to latitude about 40 degrees north of the Martian equator, you're going to see some pretty interesting things, actually.
Like
example,
what?
The Cydonia region.
Yes?
The Cydonia region has a counterpart region, and they're going to find that this time.
Really?
Yes.
Now, when you speak of Cydonia, you speak of the face on Mars and
the city and the rail launcher and all that.
All that stuff.
Yeah, the rail launcher is most interesting to me.
How? Rail launcher?
The rail launcher.
That's a gun.
No. The rail launcher is a shuttle-type vehicle that was abandoned, and it's sitting on this rail inside a fortress.
A fortress.
A fortress.
This is a lot of the kind of stuff that David Oates talked about when he reversed the speech of the NASA guys.
Oh, yes.
So you're saying all of that is true?
Yes, but they remember all that comes from what they were thinking subconsciously, more or less. And it could get jumbled together. I'm not very familiar with that. I just heard it in passing at the time. But I don't recall that exactly.
Why would your bosses want this information out?
Because of what's about to happen next year.
What, pray tell?
There's going to be some, how should we say, major, extreme revelations next year. And everything's got to be in place before that happens. Meanwhile, pressure is building. By pressure, I mean orders to throw it all out on the table right now. And I'm one that don't think it's appropriate at this time.
You personally don't?
No, I mean all of it right now. I'm all for the 98 thing.
So you're sort of dribbling information out to get people prepared.
Yes, but my greatest concern is they won't be prepared enough. And I'm troubled by what's happened.
You want to lay out your cards? I mean, what's going to happen?
You mean 1998?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, more of the same, more dribbling, as you call it, for starters. But then, of course, you mean the main material.
Main event, yes, sir.
Ultimately.
You bet.
Well, now that would take place on, let's see, what date would that be? I got a book over here. It's got it all laid out. You don't mind me getting it here?
I don't mind a bit. You go right ahead.
Just a second.
All right. We're talking to a current Area 51 employee, he says. And there is a book that lays out what's going to occur, and he's talking about 1998.
Okay, I got it.
All right. And then in 1998, you said you've got a date. You hear the pages turning.
Yep, got it. July 20th, 1998.
Oh, Richard Hoagland's going to like that. July 20th.
Richard Hoagland?
Yeah. That's an important date with Richard.
Oh, I remember now. Yes, it was. But I'm not sure that he knows about what really happened in 1986. I wonder if he could call in and we could ask him if he knows what happened on that date in 1986. That's part of the main...
All right, but right now I want to know what's going to happen on July 20th, 1998. So does everybody.
Oh, okay, right on. In 1998, on that date, everything is going to be revealed about what happened on July 20th, 1986 to July 26, 1986, and how that relates to what is going on right now with the Mars material.
All right, then, if we must, let us back up. July of 1986. What occurred?
Correct.
What occurred then, please?
The culmination of the original plan, and we are currently in the 12th year of the new plan now.
What plan?
What plan?
Whose plan?
Whose plan? The Supreme Commandant.
The Supreme Commandant?
Sound familiar?
Vaguely.
Vaguely.
The Supreme Commandant.
That should be ringing some bells. No pun intended, please.
Thank you.
This is September the 11th. Okay. Anyway, the point is that, do you recall any certain caller who might have called you on the Saturday morning, August 9th, during the night where you had the so-called MIB line?
Yes, I remember the MIB line, certainly. And as a matter of fact, during the course of this very conversation we're having right now, I'm wondering why the men in black aren't moving in on you.
Oh, they can't.
Huh. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds to me like the soldier in the foxhole says everybody around me might die, but I'm not.
Oh, I've been in a few foxholes myself, I'll tell you.
Yeah, well, it's that kind of psychology. What do you mean they can't get to you?
Because I tell them what to do.
You're that high in the food chain.
Well, unfortunately, it is a food chain, yes. Unfortunately for me, I occasionally learn the hard way. Since I did call you on that morning. I don't know if you recall or not.
Listen, these beings, are they as we are, or are they different? Do they look to be extraterrestrial in origin, even though they're...
You mean at Area 51 or in general, or both?
Well, you said they're extra-dimensional, not extraterrestrial. So do they appear to be extraterrestrial, or do they appear exactly as we do, in form?
Okay, this is hard to explain, but there's two levels. One level is, if you knew what to look for, yeah, you could tell the difference, easily. But if you say, so-and-so, just pass them, you'd never notice it.
So they could be wandering around in our streets now, ETs, and I see.
Well, a few more than they used to be. There's about...
How about if I call them EDs? Extra-dimensionals.
Yeah, but see, if you could grill one of them, let's say you had a best-case scenario, you had them hypnotized, sodium pentothal, reverse speech, everything. And you got everything out of them.
Yeah.
You would never find out who was giving them the orders. It's not me, by the way. Because they're getting programmed from a planet in this timeline in space.
Why are you revealing all of this now?
Because of the amount of material that's going to be revealed next year would be unintelligible unless this was here first.
Lay it out first.
Right. In other words, I could talk for 10 hours, and we would have chipped at the edge of the iceberg. That's just an example.
What is the purpose, then, of Area 51?
Now, it's got different...
I'm sorry, S4 or whatever you want to call it. In other words, what is the main...
Chief reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now or in the past or both?
Yes.
All.
Yes.
Okay. In the beginning, it was simply to develop new weapons. America needed new weapons to counter the Soviet threat.
Right.
The reason, you ready? You holding on to your seat for this one? I don't think anybody knows this one.
Yes.
Okay, everybody in the Pentagon better hold on to their seat for this, and they're going to be hopping mad. The people from a planet called Lanulos.
Lanulos?
Mm-hmm. Think you heard that before, I guess. They came here after World War II, and they told the Soviets, you better look out, the Americans are coming after you. Then they come to the Americans and tell them, you better look out, the Soviets are coming after you. Then they go to the Soviets and tell them, here's the kind of missiles you're going to need. And then they go to the Americans and say, you better get ready, here they come, here are the kind of missiles you're going to need. We'll give you the advice on what to build with your own technology.
Sounds like they were promoting the idea of war.
Oh, no. They knew the outcome. You can use primitive computer projections now to get some idea of some things. And they used computer projections of an advanced kind to determine the best possible outcome. And that they controlled the situation where you'd have a standoff. They needed desperately to have a Cold War standoff for 40 years. That was the plan.
Why?
To duplicate a precise same event that happened 3 times 19.5 centuries earlier on Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Atlantis
that was destroyed
by two...
because there was no intervention, or what?
Oh, no, there could not be any intervention then. Because there was no one in space. No one had traveled. Oh, yes, this would be an appropriate time to explain something. No, there is no intelligent life that evolved anywhere in the universe, except on Earth.
I've thought that myself, and even wondered about this planet.
Yeah, right, me too. Especially in the last 50 years. And in a parallel universe, ditto. In other words, for every parallel dimension, I prefer timeline, you have only Earth evolving intelligent life.
All right, listen, I have only about a minute left, so quickly sum up or say whatever you would like to say to everybody out there about where you work.
Area 51's main purpose is to basically build weapons, but it was taken over in 1986. It was taken over by the people from Lanulos. And when they took it over, that's when I came in there. I was put in there to supervise what was going on in the lower levels.
All right. Well, I have no way of knowing whether one word of what you have said is true, but you said it well.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And you take care. There's our first Area 51 caller. The planet Lanulos or whatever it was. What do you think? They're in charge since 86. Reagan said a bunch of stuff about that. You remember? We're going to break here at the bottom of the hour, and we'll be right back from the high desert. This is Coast to Coast AM. I'm Art Bell. All right. Well, I said no future employees of Area 51, but this guy tripped me up. He's on the line now, and I can tell you're, like in a vehicle of some kind.
Yes, I'm driving a truck right now because I'm making a historical study of life in the 20th century. And there's really no better way to study it than getting out there and seeing it and experiencing it.
So you're sort of slumming in the 20th, huh?
There you go. Actually, I'm from the 21st century, or the 21st century, the year 2072, and I worked at Area 51, or I guess you would say I will work at Area 51, which at that time is the nation's capital. There's a series of catastrophes that will occur, and I don't want to create a paradox by saying too much, but some events occur around the turn of the century in the eastern part of the country. Things happen where the government of the United States has to relocate,
Now, bear in mind that you're on the air right now in Washington, D.C. on WWRC. I mean, they're all listening to you, so...
Yes, that's why I have to be very careful with what I'm saying.
Please be very careful, yes. So you're saying around the turn of the century, around 2000, something is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't want to get into any more than that, but I worked as an aide for the Office of the President at Area 51. And in that time, in 2072, the reason Area 51 was picked to be the capital of the United States, and for that matter, basically a one-world government is set up with the United States leading that effort.
Oh, good.
By that time, there will be no question of life throughout the universe. In fact, there will be several races of aliens living with us. I can't get into much more detail than that. But
let me ask you a question. How far can you go? We all know what a paradox is. You know, going back and killing your father, if time travel were possible, would suddenly negate you, at least in one timeline. How far can you go in telling us things without creating a paradox, something that will shift what otherwise would occur in a timeline?
Well, I can't actually alter events. For example, if I come back now and I know if I invest in a certain thing in the stock market and become a huge multimillionaire, when that individual who I am now didn't, according to my current history,
you would have changed things radically.
Right. And so I have to be very careful. Now, speaking in general terms like I'm doing to you over the air,
so then we can safely assume Bill Gates is not a time traveler?
Bill Gates is not a time traveler.
Okay.
Bill Gates is Bill Gates, and
got his money honestly in this timeline.
Yes, he honestly got it in this timeline, though there's some interesting things about Bill Gates. Without going into detail, expect Bill Gates to enter politics before too long.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I figured it would.
Now, is that something that could potentially? I mean, you must be on the gray line there regarding a paradox.
Well, I am, but here's the beauty of it. When I'm on the phone with you talking, it's subjective. It's people's opinion. So what I really say is real subjective. Some people might believe it, some people won't. So I'm fairly safe in making general statements like that because probably a lot of people aren't going to believe it anyway.
That's right. And so let me ask you this. Is there something minor but very specific that you can give us that's going to happen in the near-term future that we can watch for and say, aha, the guy from 2072 called it?
Yeah. We're going to have probably about March of this coming winter,
yes,
Southern California and Arizona are going to suffer severe flooding as a result of the El Nino that's building. And in 1999, the winter of 1999, there's going to be a major devastating earthquake in Southern California.
Wait a minute, that was the winter of 99?
The winter of 1999.
How big will it be? Do you know?
From the history books I've read, it was about an 8.9 on the Richter scale. But I'm not, I can't give out numbers because we really don't know. There was just estimate numbers of deaths and injuries.
Did you get here using a physical time machine, or did you come through some sort of wormhole? In other words, by what means did you come to this time, and why?
Okay, there are things around the planet that people now are calling vortexes or vortices, such as in Sedona and a few places in California. By the year 2055, there's been a major breakthrough explaining these forces, and mankind has learned how to use those for time travel, both going forward and going past.
Well, now that is very interesting because I interviewed a very well-respected physicist named Michio Kaku not long ago who said that is exactly the way we would learn to travel in time.
Yes, and it works out very well, and you don't have to have the equipment at your destination. Now, when I left in 2072, there's equipment set up at these vortices in Sedona and other places around the world. Now, when I go through that and come to this time, I just pop out in the middle of the desert in the case of Sedona.
I've always wondered about that. How are you able to be sure that you don't pop here inside a mountain or a building or concrete or something awful like that?
Well, because we can go back to maps of the 20th century, and actually even earlier than that. We've got them archived on computer disks, and we know exactly where we can and cannot pop out.
So at least I know we still use computers, huh?
We do use computers, so it'll blow your mind the media that we'll be using at that time.
No, it wouldn't blow my mind at all. You buy a computer today and it's out of date now in about 3 or 4 months anyway.
All I can say is virtual reality is only the beginning.
So it's going to be an interesting time, and there's going to be a gigantic event around the turn of the century, a serious event.
Yeah, the turn of the century is going to be rough, but mankind makes it through it. We do have some assistance from, how shall I say, elsewhere.
Elsewhere? Others?
Yes. And after that event, things like racism, those kind of issues will no longer be around, because not only will we have to learn to live with people of different color, we're going to have to learn to live with beings who are not human. And this event, these series of events that occur around the turn of the century, is kind of a purging or a cleansing event. And the people that make it through that become a better species of people.
Are you going to stay and go through this period with us, or when things get rough, are you going to get going?
I got to be honest with you, Art. I'm out of here. I'm going to be a chicken and run. I'm not going to stay and go through that with you.
Would it be possible for somebody like myself, for example, who wants to avoid what's coming, to get a ticket to ride, so to speak, with you?
No, because there again, then you come up with the paradox issue.
Paradox.
You have a certain destiny you're meant to fulfill, and if you leave prematurely, that creates the paradox.
I understand.
But there are certain people that can leave.
Let me see if I can ask this.
Okay.
Do you know offhand whether I make it?
I can't answer that because that might alter
Paradox.
the way you live your life.
I've got it. All right. Well, you've been a very, very interesting caller, and I hope you will call again.
I will do so.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care. There is a future Area 51 employer, present employee, present time traveler. I don't know. He sounded pretty good, huh? I've got to give him a good 7 or 8, maybe even better than an 8 on a scale of 10. What do you think? East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning. Hello there.
Yes, hello.
Turn your radio off, please. That's the first thing you got to do when you get on the air.
Got it.
All right, good. Where are you?
Boynton Beach, Florida.
Okay. Glad to have you.
Is this Art?
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Art. No, I was just listening. I just got on my computer, and I'm listening to your show right now through the computer.
Okay.
And you guys are talking about Area 51. I grew up in Morocco. I don't know if you ever heard of in Morocco, North Africa, and I spent 16 years over there with my parents.
I'm going to North Africa next month.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Right. I saw that on your webpage. But anyway, there's a place called Kenitra, which was a United States U.S. Navy base, and at the time, from 1961 until 1970, it was a United States Navy base. But after that, because Congress discovered that this base was there, they decided to shut it down. And the United States government never did. They kept it going, and basically what they did, they just turned it over to the Royal Air Force. But the base in Kenitra had a bunch of satellite dishes, and I'm talking like, if you saw the movie Contact.
I did. God, I love that movie.
You're talking about dishes that were lined up for probably, I would probably say about 30 dishes, and that's in Morocco, Kenitra.
Well, when you do that, what you saw in Contact was accurate. In other words, you can put up a field of dishes, And each one gives you about a 3 dB gain and it creates a narrower beam width. So you can listen to more distant, weaker signals. That's how it works. And Contact was accurate in that regard.
Okay. But not only was there about 30 dishes in Kenitra, there's another town which is like a little a village, and it was probably about 60 miles away from Kenitra. Kenitra is north of Rabat, Morocco. It's called City Yaya, and they had another 30 dishes there. Now, why would the United States government or the United States Navy have all these dishes? They did, at one point, my father was telling me back in 1970 during the Apollo missions, that these dishes relayed the Apollo missions.
All right, well, that'd be definitely one use.
That's one use, but what's the other use?
Listening.
For those dishes in Morocco.
Listening for whatever might be out there, just as they did in Contact. And as SETI now does. Remember in Contact, they were using the one at Arecibo.
Right, I remember that. But the base right now, it's actually still in operation under the Moroccan government, but there are Americans there.
Okay, so what is it you're telling us? That our American government is still in Morocco doing something that relates to deep space?
To deep space. And my father's retired now, but he's telling me this, and I do know that because I was talking to I don't know if you remember at the time, it was Alexander Haig. He was the Supreme Commander of NATO back in 1981, if I'm correct.
That's the I'm in charge now at the White House, Alexander Haig, right?
Yes. That's the guy.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, because they had closed the base back in 1978, and he was talking to my father and asking him to go back to Kenitra and see if we, whatever, I really am not sure, and I guess I'm not privy to that conversation, but it was very interesting, and I was thinking of Area 51 being something so secretive, and Congress did not know about the base that is still run by the American military in North Africa, Morocco.
You're raising a very good point. Thank you very much for a call. In other words, it may well be that Area 51, the one adjacent to me, just over the mountain from me, is not the only place that we're doing this sort of thing. And North Africa would be a really spiffy place when you think about it to do something very secret. Because there are large open areas that could be closed off easily, and there wouldn't be a whole lot of tourist travel in those areas. Very interesting point, that our government may have secret things going on around the world, not just here. Fascinating. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Where are you?
This is Boris, and I'm in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas?
Yes.
Just over the hill?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I'm a first-time caller, and I finally got through.
Sound like you're out of breath.
Yeah. Yes. I figured out how to get through by clues what Mr. Fidget gave me.
Yeah. Well, all right, you're through. So what's on your mind?
Oh, well, actually, I guess the Mars Pathfinder mission.
Indeed, Pathfinder has just, I guess, or is just now going into orbit around Mars.
No, that's the Global Observer. Yeah.
Mars Observer.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm sorry, you're talking about Pathfinder, the little bug that runs around up there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
yes,
what is it you have to say about it?
Well, yeah, I've been doing some of my own investigation by basically downloading the whole Mars Pathfinder site.
Well, as you know, Richard Hoagland has seen everything from gyroscopes to bazookas to 105 millimeter cannons to all kinds of things on Mars.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
Well, I've definitely seen a lot of pyramidal-shaped things, and looking at the pictures Richard Hoagland has put on his website, I found some other similar pictures to that.
So you're essentially backing up what Richard says.
Yeah, and
he thinks we've landed right in the middle of a debris field, essentially, of a previous civilization.
Yeah.
You think that's right?
Yeah, it looks like it.
You know, there are a lot of people who think that we are Martians. that the Martians, don't laugh, when the Martian, that on Mars, when their atmosphere was destroyed, or potentially was about to be destroyed, and there was once one there with water on Mars, and water means life, that somehow somebody or something got off planet and, in effect, seeded Earth.
Yeah, well, I sort of believe in multiple timelines, and...
You too, huh?
And
did you hear my time caller a minute ago?
Yes, I heard your time caller.
And on a scale of 10, what did you think of his credibility?
Somehow 6 comes into my mind. I don't know why.
Only a 6?
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I've had worse, believe me.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for the call from Las Vegas. Not a lot of time before the top of the hour. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello? No, you're not. That person just missed it. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. This is CT in San Mateo, California.
Yes, sir.
And I think it's preposterous for that time traveler to presume that Earthlings would be able to get along with people from other planets.
When they can't even get along with different racial groups and ethnic and religious groups on planet Earth now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you forgot one important thing. He said there was going to be some event that would so change human beings that they would suddenly be able to get along with others. I can't imagine what that would be.
I can't imagine the enormity of an event like that. And I'm from the school.
Nobody cooperated when Rodney King asked that we all get along, so.
I'm from the school that believes that the races that we have here on this planet are from other planets, and we don't get along. So that's my assumption for tonight. Thank you.
Well, wait a minute. Where are you calling from, by the way?
San Mateo.
That's right. You said that. I always thought that if a saucer came down, little green guys got off and started down the ramp. Before they got to the bottom of the ramp, they would be so full of lead, they wouldn't be able to walk.
I can't see why they would want to come here. I mean, with people with the tech.
In other words, you would look down at the present relationship between the races and so forth on Earth and say,
I'd try.
Let's skip this one, folks. On to the next planet that is green.
Hey, thanks, Art.
All right, take care. That's it. We're going to break here at the top of the hour. See what's new in the world. I suspect not very much. There's not much new under the sun these days, is there? And we will continue. Don't forget, my first-time caller line is not that tonight. It is an Area 51 employee sing-song line at 702-727-1222. This is Coast to Coast AM.
This is Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell.
It is, and I'm glad to be here. If you missed the first hour, Daniel Brinkley called from his hospital bed. We talked to him for an hour, full hour. And he is doing better all the time, a little groggy, but as you might expect under the conditions, but he's doing better, and all things going well. He may be out of the hospital in another week. So we did that in the first hour. Second hour, we began taking Area 51 calls. I didn't do it last night, so I'm doing it tonight. If you're an Area 51 employee, past or present, we even had one in the future, you're welcome to call our special line, which is area code 702-727-1222. And another person I would love to hear from briefly is Stan Deo in Perth, Australia. Stan, if you're listening this morning in Australia, call me and let's get an update on this El Nino business. There's so much on it now, and it appears to be ever increasing. So I'd like to get your look at the latest map, or have you tell us about the latest map and what you're seeing. Stan, as you know, told us this was coming many months before the climatologist decided it was coming. So he's a good guy to listen to in that respect. Incidentally, I've got a mysterious visitor in my studio. And if anybody out there can guess who it is before the show ends, you'll win some sort of cheap prize. Now, how are you going to guess? Well, you can actually see him on the studio cam. We've got a studio cam, and every now and then it clicks a picture and sends it to the web. So you might get a look if you do try and guess who it is. A mysterious, I rarely have visitors ever in the studio, as you know. So if you can guess who it is, well, you probably don't win anything except my eternal respect for having guessed the impossible. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
Glad to get through.
I'm glad you got through. Where are you?
I'm in Ohio, Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Okay.
First of all, I was shocked when you let the first Area 51 guy get away, but he said...
Well, look, I couldn't... I talked to the guy for almost half an hour.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
It seems so short.
Well, I know.
Well, he said something about Lulianos and that Reagan had mentioned this?
Yeah, 86 would have been... No, I said that. Do you remember Ronald Reagan when he was in office? Several times he said, if we had some sort of common enemy from space, for example, that we as a planet would get together to fight.
I do remember
this common enemy. He said that a number of times, and it was about 1986.
But he didn't mention Lulianos who...
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, and the other thing, the 2072 caller?
Yeah.
He said, just before he signed off, that certain people would be allowed to leave.
Yeah, but apparently I'm not one of them.
Well, yeah, I know, but it'd be interesting to know who they are. I mean, maybe they're 144,000.
Well, I'll ask him next time.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks, Art.
Right, thank you very much for the call. Take care. Dare we go back on my Area 51 line? You're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, you got some less than credible people talking to you earlier.
I've got some what?
Less than credible people talking to you earlier.
Are you one of them?
No. I'll tell you what, though.
You are not an Area 51 employee?
Here's how you find out. Ask them how they pay for their meals. Ask them what color the second door is they go in, and ask them how they get there.
You are an Area 51 employee.
Well, that remains to be seen. Just ask them those three questions. They're rather unique.
All right, roll over those again. How they pay for the meals is one, right? The color of the second door? The trouble is that I'm not going to know. I mean, how am I going to know?
I'll tell you off the air if you like.
Well, I can't do it off the air.
Okay.
All right, what was the third thing? It was the color of the first and second door?
No, color of the second door.
Second door, and what else?
How they pay for their meals.
Yeah, I got those two. What else?
How they get there.
Oh, how they get there. Mm-hmm. Well, I know one way they get there. They get there by bus. Some fly. Right?
Also ask them what they do with the trash.
They probably drop it down a big hole where it enters our water table and we drink it. You are an Area 51 employee, aren't you? Come on, own up to it.
I'm afraid I can't do that. Have a good evening.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he was a real McCoy, you could tell. Well, all right, future Area 51 employees, I now have 3 critical questions to which I don't have the real answer, so you could lie your tail ends off to me and I wouldn't know. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, turn your radio off, please.
Got it off.
Okay, you're actually on the air. Where are you calling from?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa. All right. The nation's heartland.
There you go, right in the middle of it.
So what do you think of these guys so far?
Pretty far out. But I have some questions regarding a previous show.
All right, which one?
It was the one about us never going to the moon.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
The debate. The great debate.
Who am I talking to?
Who do you suppose you're talking to?
Art?
I'm the only one. Well, actually, I do have someone else here, but I'm normally the only one here.
Okay.
So I'm the only one you could talk to. The debate between Collier and Hoagland.
Collier. Who's the one that was, I thought his name was James, and the other guy said he was...
James Collier and Richard Hoagland.
Hoagland.
Yes, Hoagland. Hoagland.
Okay, Hoagland was the man that was supposedly the co-announcer as we landed on the moon, is that correct?
He worked for Walter Cronkite, that's right.
And he was, right, he was the co-announcer, is that correct?
No, he was a science advisor to Walter Cronkite.
Oh, okay.
But he was right there.
Well, let me tell you what happened to me. I was living in Southern California about the time we landed on the moon there. And I was watching it pretty closely, and I come home from work one day, and I was watching the TV, and I thought we'd already landed because of the mock-up that they had.
How do you know the whole thing wasn't done in Burbank, right there by you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I believe it was. I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, I see. All right, go ahead.
I'll tell you what happened. So they get around to the modular going down the moon, and the man getting out, one small step for man, and all that garbage, right?
Yep. Wasn't garbage.
Well, it is in my opinion, because the camera came down and the camera started to pan to the left, and all of a sudden there's this rock laying there.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to the whole program, and I didn't hear if this was mentioned or not.
What's the matter with there being a rock on the moon?
Okay, well, on this rock was a precisely carved Roman numeral.
Now that I missed.
Okay, now I don't know if that was on the program or not, but I was flabbergasted.
Well, of course I would be too. Did you save that videotape?
Did I save that videotape?
Yep.
In 1960.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I don't even think VCRs were out then.
Well.
At least I didn't have one.
Right, I understand.
But so the two announcers were talking, right? And the other announcer says,
"Look at that Roman numeral."
He says, "What is that rock?" And then the screen went blank. It went off the air.
Well, all right. Here's something for you to contemplate. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, the whole thing was done on a sound stage, all right? A video stage?
Uh-huh.
Why would they put something stupid like a rock with a Roman numeral on it if they were trying to fake the whole thing?
Exactly.
What do you mean exactly?
Why would they? They wouldn't.
But you're saying they did.
But I'm saying it was there. I know what I seen, okay? I'm watching the guy get down out of the landing craft, one small step for man. It pans over, there's a rock with a Roman numeral on it.
And one giant conspiracy for mankind, right?
And one giant conspiracy for mankind. But the number on the rock, and it was just a flash, and I think it was either a 13 or a 17. I can't remember what. I don't know if there's any significance to that.
I don't either.
But this has bugged me ever since it happened.
All right. Well, next time I get Richard Hoagland on, I will ask him specifically about that, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Got another one for you real quick.
Real quick, because we're about out of time.
Okay. The Men in Black.
Yes.
When I was in the service in '68, I was stationed at Fort Meade, Maryland. It's got a very large forest area in it.
Yeah.
And one Sunday morning, a guy come up with a new car. He had a little Austin Healey Sprite, and he grabbed me and a partner, and we're going to go out and we're going to take a ride in it. And I sat up on the back, looking out over the windshield. We took a ride down here in the forest. We went for quite a ways, and
gotta hurry.
I asked him if he'd told the guy, well, we better turn around and go back. And as he hung a left and started to go down this road, we come into a clearing. And what we ran into was there was right in the middle of this clearing was a triangular shaped kind of a glass looking object. It's kind of a laser shooting up just above the tree line. Yeah. And I was sitting up on the back, and I could see it all. When this guy came down in the clearing, he made a U-turn real quick, kind of did a fishtail.
This would be our MIB, I presume.
No, the guy that I was riding with. And as we made this fishtail, we could see three people kind of along the perimeter there, reaching into the side of their coat pockets, like reaching for a gun and stuff.
Yeah.
And never really dawned on me till recently that. And I heard this Man in Black, but all those guys were in black. And that was the weirdest light I've ever seen in my life. And this is like in 1968.
Oh, you're lucky to be alive to tell the story now.
Probably. But I was really, what's really got me is I just wonder if you got any listeners anywhere that's ever seen that rock or seen anything or heard anything about it, because that's blown my mind ever since I've seen it.
You know all those lumpy things you see out in the desert?
Yeah?
People like you. I gotta go, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the call. And by the way, I want to make an announcement. I've got a big announcement. I forgot to make it. Tomorrow night scheduled is probably the real thing. James Van Praagh. I talked to Daniel extensively about James Van Praagh, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for him. He'll be here tomorrow night at the beginning of the show. And now I've got a really big announcement. Next week, on Friday night, Saturday morning, the 19th, this one you've been waiting for, Gordon Michael Scallion is going to be here. And I'm going to read you, let me see, how much can I read you of what he sent me? A little bit anyway. All right. I'll read you a little bit of what Gordon has essentially been underground for a year. And there's a reason for that. It's basically his health. He'll be here in the first hour, and we'll see how long he can spend, but boy, does he have news for you. Dear Art, Gordon writes, you will find a copy of my new book, Notes from the Cosmos, a futurist insight into the world of dream prophecy and intuition. I think you'll find the chapter on the awakening to be the most interesting, and a subject that both you and I have discussed with regard to the similarities in our viewpoints. I've appreciated your ongoing support of my work and your desire to have me appear on your show. Again, during the past year, I've been trying to restore my vitality and complete my book prior to the great changes that I see on the doorstep here in just a few months. I now feel I have something of value to share with your listeners, dealing with the activities that are now going on in Montserrat, as well as the phenomenal ocean temperature rise globally. Part of me is totally amazed the world is not focusing on the real cause of the current El Nino, because in my opinion, it is much more than El Nino. In my opinion, we are very close to global cataclysmic events. While some might say that the current weather changes are indeed that, I see these as only precursors to a shift in the magnetic field of the Earth as well as disruption of the tectonic plate system. Gordon Michael Scallion, the 19th or 20th, depending on your time zone, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for that, so I just booked him yesterday. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Art.
Hello, turn off thy radio, please.
It's on its way down.
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Alaska.
Alaska, where?
Well, I'm in Palmer now.
Palmer. All right. Well, you know, I was just in Anchorage.
Yeah, I know you were. Were you born before 1953?
I was born June 17th, 1945 on Camp Lejeune in North Carolina.
Okay. The reason I ask is I grew up in Colorado. My father worked for a packaging corporation that took recycled paper and made boxes.
Way back then?
Way back then.
I didn't know we recycled that long.
We recycled years and years ago. People don't realize it. We recycled.
Okay.
Anyway, do you know what ENT is?
That would be E-N-T?
Yes.
No.
ENT is a military base buried in the mountains in Colorado. And it's a nuclear safe, one of those dug way deep in the ground.
Yes.
I'm not sure, probably...
A hardened site.
Yes. In 1960, early 60s, maybe 61, 62, I was a young boy, 9, 10 years old, and my dad came home from work with a book on flying saucers.
Yes.
ENT had brought a bunch of paper to be destroyed because they didn't want it out in the public's hands.
And your dad brought it home?
And my dad brought one home.
Not supposed to do that,
And I thumbed through this thing for months, fascinated at the hundreds and hundreds of official spaceship or
reports.
UFO shots.
So what have you done with all of this documentation?
I don't know what happened to the book. I'm sure that my brother looked through it. I don't know what my dad did with the book. And your show has just brought this book back to me.
Boy, I sure would like to lay my hands on it.
I'm telling you, it would be an amazing piece of paper. And I don't know that, if anybody else has.
Is your dad still alive?
My dad is still alive.
Why don't you go to him?
And ask him.
You're doggone right.
Yeah.
And if he still has that book, you and I need to talk privately. You think you could arrange that?
I will call him and ask him if...
All right, if you can lay your hands on it, you either fax me or write me or email me or get to me somehow privately, and we'll set something up, all right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, my friend. You take care. Ooh, would I like to lay my hands on that? Wouldn't that be neat? We're going to take a break here at the bottom of the hour. Once again, come back and do I have no idea what. Remember now, I have one line set aside only for Area 51 employees. And by the way, I don't know about the earlier ones. They were pretty good, but this last guy, I'll bet you he was a real thing. That's just my own call. At any rate, if you're an Area 51 employee, past or present, and wish to sing and tell us what it's all about, this area just over the hill from me, I've got one line set aside for only that, area code 702-727-1222. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Well, a pleasant good morning to you.
Where are you?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got something for your consideration.
Okay.
In the past, you have shared with us listeners, and you and I discussed this one night over the air, if some really big catastrophe should happen, say, coming in from outer space.
Yes.
That you'd do as Paul Harvey and make a traveling mic and go out and
I absolutely would. As a matter of fact, I should tell you that I now have the microphone to do that. I've got a permanent outside microphone that I'm about to mount. It was sent to me by some very nice listener, a very professional outfit. But yes, in other words, if an asteroid was coming in or something, sure, what the hell? I'd go outside, take the microphone, and talk that sucker in. Why not?
Well, here's something for you to consider. Next Wednesday night, Thursday morning, the moon is going to occult Saturn.
Which means?
Which means it's going to pass in front of Saturn.
Okay.
So
far, that's not catastrophic.
No.
I hope.
Say a tune-up. Just check your system out. It is quite an impressive sight.
You suggest that I would go out. Oh, how impressive. Those Saturn, I mean, you've got to have a good telescope to see that.
No. You can see it through binoculars. It doesn't, now when the moon occults a star, the star, like, winks out. I mean, it just...
Yeah, I'm not sure that's dramatic enough to justify going outside and,
take a look at it anyway. It
might be good practice. Now, if we had a big rock, say about 6 miles wide, bearing down on us, now you're talking good reason for a remote. End of the world broadcast.
Well, yeah. You could use this as a tune-up.
As a tune-up. All right, well, I'll mull that over in my mind. Thank you. First-time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Hi.
I'm calling from Southern California.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy to hear that Daniel's doing better.
Well, tentatively better, yes.
That's good to hear. We've heard so much tonight about the people that are trying to uncover the truth about the UFO scenario, and I was wondering if it would be possible for you to get somebody from the other side. Somebody maybe behind the scenes.
Somebody who wants to keep it secret?
Exactly.
Well, I tried that. I did a Men in Black night. They would be in that category, right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear the whole show. Did anybody call in on that?
Oh, yeah. I got all kinds of Men in Black. And you know what I've got in front of me here?
No.
I've got a story. Now, I have no way of knowing if it's true. It comes from the News Gateway, a News Gateway article. Breaking news, it says. This just in. A reporter friend who works for a local newspaper just called and told me that 2 men in black have been captured after breaking and entering the house of a local ufologist tonight. Apparently, a neighbor saw the men approach the house and called the police. Police arrived quickly. The 2 men were still inside. Needless to say, the police captured them and arrested them. When the ufologist returned home and was told the story, he, of course, immediately realized it was a case of MIBs attempting to find out what he knows. And, of course, he called the local police and explained all this and tried to encourage them to investigate these 2 men fully. But immediately the conspiracy went into full alert and they began to create a cover story. You know how that works. And they did background checks and found both men, it turns out, are experienced jewel thieves, and both have police records. They were trying to get the jewels from the house of the well-to-do ufologist and his wife. But the ufologist was not to be fooled. And how shrewd they can be explained to the police is an obvious cover story. And these were MIBs, and this was possibly one of the biggest breaks in UFO history. But, as you might imagine, Even though the two MIBs are still in the slammer, the cover story is working.
It's interesting.
Who would you suggest I would have on?
Well, obviously, the person that we'd most want to talk to would not come forward with their name. So it seemed like it would have to be somebody that wanted to speak anonymously. And
well, I've got somebody like that who, as a matter of fact, thank you very much. There's this guy who claimed that he was inside Area 51, a worker in Area 51, and he sent me several messages over a period of about 3 days and then stopped. And I'm waiting to hear from him. I don't know why he stopped. We did post his letter on the internet. Now, that might have scared him off. I didn't know that was going to be posted. Apparently, he sent, or somebody sent a copy of that letter to Keith. It certainly was not me. And Keith posted it. Now, maybe that scared him off. I don't know. But he has now disappeared. Now, hopefully, he didn't come to any harm. But we will have that man on the air if he ever gets in touch with me for real. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, my name's Rich. I'm from Flagstaff.
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations on your book seller thing.
Oh, I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I just wanted to call because I'm a dream traveler. I've been one for a few years, and I had this dream a couple of years ago that listening to Richard C. Hoagland and you talking kind of tripped me out.
That'll do it, all right.
Yeah.
Was it a regular dream or a nightmare?
No, it was actually really, really cool. It's, some dreams, are just, they aren't all that powerful, but this one it wasn't lucid, but it felt like I was out of my body.
Uh-huh.
And,
I've had several out-of-body experiences myself listening to Richard.
Yeah, definitely.
Huh.
Yeah, listening to you guys is always really nice.
Now, I've actually felt myself float to the ceiling and look down. And it was one of those frustrating moments with Richard when you're trying to ask a second-level question and he's not giving you a second-level answer.
Right.
Just a first-level answer.
And he keeps going and going and going. Well, my dream started, I was in my bed and I got pulled out of my body by aliens, actually. And they kind of looked like E.T., which is kind of weird. They were short and they had long necks and the kind of ET-shaped head. And this is the weird part. They took me to this planet that they said was where the asteroid belt is now, beyond Mars.
Xenon.
Yeah. They said that they took me there and they took me back in the past. And there were all these cities all over the place, and they were showing me, it was really overwhelming because they gave me like all this history and stuff, and of course I don't remember any of that, but because it was just like information overload. But
right.
They gave me all this information and showed me their history and all this stuff, and they told me that there was life on Mars and on this planet, and that there was a war between these two planets, and they developed this technology and all this stuff, and I guess the people on Mars were really, really aggressive, and the only reason that the people on this other planet had to develop any weapons at all was to defend themselves against these people on Mars. Mm-hmm. And well, the people on Mars developed something that could actually blow up a planet. And
boy, you do have dreams, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so. And it escalated, and kaboom, planet gone. And I'm not exactly sure what happened to Mars, but obviously something bad. And some people got away and from both planets and supposedly came here, and they didn't really tell me what happened then. But then I was just kind of sitting there on the planet going, well, okay, how do I get back to my place? I was kind of in the past on
That's
another planet.
That's the part that I have always worried about, getting back.
Yeah, and I was a little worried. And
not only were you in another place, but you were in another time.
Another time, yeah.
And Albert Taylor the other day warned about that.
Yeah.
He said, that's hard.
Exactly, and I was a little worried, and they said, well, don't worry, they told me to look at these 3 stars and to stare at them and to focus all my energy on them. And of course, I don't remember what stars they are, but I did that, and after a few minutes,
Nothing about clicking your heels 3 times.
yeah, for the 3 stars. But
anyway, you got home.
Yeah, well, what happened was when I focused on these 3 stars, this kind of gateway opened, and it was like kind of like a wormhole.
Kind of like just like in Contact.
Yeah, very much so.
And back you came. All right, listen, I got to run. We're out of time.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a hell of a dream. That's a hell of a dream. We'll be right back. Where are you?
I'm in Flint, Michigan.
All right.
Flint.
Yes, sir.
You brought up the subject earlier about the suitcase bomb.
Yes, a 1 kiloton suitcase bomb nuke.
The only possible use I could think that any moron would have for that, other than terrorism, is tearing it apart so they could make more.
The only thing I could come up with was to start it going, and then sort of play a personal game of chicken and see if you could press the cancel button, like 2 or 3 seconds before it was going to go.
I heard that.
But with my luck, the phone would ring or something. Divert my attention. Goodbye, pahrump. So what was that you were saying about morons now? Other uses?
The only possible use I could think, other than terrorism, is to advance your terroristic aim, whether that may be by actually taking the thing apart to make more.
Oh, I see. To replicate it. Yes, I suppose there would be that. But I would think that would be a nervous thing, too. Cutting wires and disassembling a nuclear device.
There's a lot of small countries who really don't have a nuclear program.
So there's a profit motive. Now, you could turn around and resell it to some small country somewhere. Peru, for example, they'd probably like to have a nuke. Castro. Oh. Now think what Castro would pay for a nuke.
Boy, those are wonderful thoughts, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Trouble is, we all know who he'd use it against. I don't know. I'm trying to give it some thought. There's got to be a use. There's 100 of them, it's reported out there. And we'll think of something. I appreciate your call, sir.
Yeah.
On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharged.
I started getting...
Well, this was certainly interesting. We are now on a backup system, everybody. A backup system. And that one caller that I had on the air, I guess we were about in the middle of his transmission, his telephone call, which was one of the strangest ones I've ever had, and the entire transmitting system by satellite went down here, and we were notified we were off the air, and it would appear to be from this end, and some sort of massive transmit failure. So we are now using a backup system to be on the air, and not that I would normally believe this kind of thing, mind you, but I can't help but wonder if somebody zapped us in some way. We'll find out. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Art Bell?
Yes.
What just happened there with the transmission?
Oh, well, what happened is the transmitter here blew its cookies in some way. Something knocked us off the air, and we're on a backup system now.
It's the government, or...
I don't know.
It has to be something, though.
Well, did you hear... Now, you tell me, because you were listening.
That was awful strange.
There was a really weird guy on the air when it went off?
Yeah. Real weirded out.
Like, going... Sort of sounding paranoid, schizophrenic?
Yeah. Like crying and everything.
Yeah. And how far into the conversation was it when it went off?
Just a couple, about 15, 20 seconds, I'd say.
Oh, you guys missed, you really missed a call then, and I've got a feeling somebody didn't want you to hear it.
Yeah. Because it was really strange. All of a sudden, I'm hearing Mark Furman, and
That's right. Well, the network, of course, went immediately to a backup tape while we tried to figure out what blew up here. So that's what you heard happen. And then we're now on a backup link system to be on the air at all right now. So, well, I'm telling you.
Am I on the air right now?
You're on the air right now. Well, you better be, yes.
And
where are you, by the way?
I'm in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, I called the other night, and I wanted to ask two things.
Real quick.
Well, I wanted to say one thing, and I wanted to ask another.
Real quick.
I wanted to ask if you could play that remote viewing one when you were while you go to Egypt.
Yes.
And also, I wanted to know all this stuff about, like, Area 51, if it's, like, the government's trying to put it out there like that, so, like, some other places isn't being watched as much.
In other words, it's a big decoy. I see what you're saying. All right, thank you very much. Apparently, we are back on the air, and apparently we'll be back after the news, I think. Well, let me tell you what a very, very interesting turn of events. Right in the middle of a very, very strange, one of the strangest calls I've ever had, we apparently lost all transmit capability on this end. Here in Nevada, the transmitter went belly up suddenly for some unknown reason. I've never seen it do this in all the years that we've been on the air. I have never seen the transmitter in this way just simply fail, massively fail, like a massive heart attack of some kind. And so we have gone to a backup system to get the signal to you right now, and I presume it is getting to you right now. Totally bizarre, folks. Totally bizarre. So I presume that you got to hear whatever they grabbed quickly, which I believe in this case was a bit of the Mark Furman interview. Must have seemed a bit out of context, I would say. Good interview, but you had to hear it in context. All right, well, we will continue on with the backup system and go to work on the primary system. This is why we have backup systems. Tell you, live radio's weird stuff, folks. Anything can happen, and this is another perfect example of that. On the run, trying to get things done in a 5-hour program, anything can occur, and we have had, my transmitter has had an apparent massive heart attack, or something happened to it, or somebody did something to it. And I will not mention the alternative means we're doing to get, accomplishing to get a signal up there right now, or to the network, let me put it that way, but, pretty weird, and it certainly occurred at a pretty weird time. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art Bell?
Yes. Turn your radio down, please. Turn it off. There you go.
Thank you.
Where are you?
This is Barbara in Kingman, Arizona.
Hi, Barbara.
My husband and I have a question about that interruption you had, and also about Dannon.
Yes.
And
all right, the interruption first. What do you want to know?
Okay. Was that person flipped out or?
Sounded flipped out to me.
Yeah.
But did it have anything? Did it have anything to do with our failure? It was I must admit, of all the times that it would go out, that was a pretty weird time.
Yes, Art, this is Mark, her husband.
Yes.
And our phones went dead.
Your phones went dead?
Yes.
At that same time?
At that same time.
Where are you?
We're in Kingman, Arizona.
Kingman, and your phones.
We're on the other side of Area 51.
So your phones are now restored, obviously, because you're talking to me.
Right. And that sounded very...
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When it went off, what were you hearing?
I was hearing the man talking, and he sounded like he was almost in tears.
Yeah.
And then I heard a static interruption, and then you went off the air. It was just like zip, and then the phone went dead.
Too weird for me. Too weird for me. And you're telling me that your phone went dead at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and my wife and I, we have been rock hounders, I guess you could say, looking for gold and rocks and things like that. And we have been up near the Area 51. And when we got, we had passed over the Area 51 area where it says no trespassing past this point.
You're not supposed to go past that.
Well, we did.
And you probably met Wackenhut.
Well, we met these people.
Wackenhut Security they're, I think, the people that still take care of security up there, and they're really efficient at what they do.
Well, yes. They escorted us off the property.
I'm even wondering how much more I should be talking about this tonight.
And they escorted us off the property with automatic
weapons.
Right.
Yep. Well, that's the way it's done. All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call. Dare I answer the line on my Area 51 line? You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Aaron?
Okay. Are you an Area 51 employee?
At one time.
In the past.
In the past.
Years ago. Can you talk?
For a few minutes.
Tell us what you can tell us. In other words, instead of my asking you questions, just tell us whatever you feel you can say without having something awful happen to you.
Well, I've got myself fairly covered right now. About your interruption with that last caller.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to hear from him again.
I got that distinct impression. Now, you guys didn't hear the whole call, because here's what was going on. Halfway through that call, or somewhere through that call, I have no way of knowing, we apparently went off the air. The transmitter blew up, or whatever happened.
Yeah, you got a pulse.
And my hotline was ringing, so I don't know at what point during that call we actually lost it. I don't know.
You lost it. He was just starting to, cry.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just went dead. It was one of you.
And then how long was it before you got to hear audio again?
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I bet silence alarms went off everywhere, all across the country. Okay, anyway, listen, why do you think we'll never hear from him again?
Because he was on the phone too long. And he was right.
If you'd heard the end of the call, I'll tell you. I'll tell everybody right now. The end of the call, it got worse and worse. He was crying, and he screamed. He screamed, and the line went dead. And at that point, I think I went to another call, and I answered the hotline and found out we'd been blown off the air somehow. I've got a guest in the studio right now. He's confirming. He's shaking his head. Everything I'm telling you is exactly true. This guy screamed, and the line went dead. I wish you could have heard the end of it.
I can imagine the end of it.
You can?
Oh, yeah. Very easily. I used to work security problems for Site 51.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was one of the men they called to close gaps.
Excuse me, close caps?
Gaps.
Gaps. Leaks. I am going to ask you a question.
Okay.
In the course of your work, doing that kind of wet work, were you ever required to, or did you ever have to take a life in the course of your duties? Don't let those silence alarms go off now.
Okay. Yes.
Well, do you regret what you had to do? Do you rationalize in your mind what you had to do because of national security, or how do you now feel about it? Do you carry guilt because of it, or what?
Some. But I believed in what I was doing.
Yeah, I guess you would have to. You couldn't do it, could you?
No, there came a time when I walked away. But when I was doing the work, I believed wholeheartedly.
All right, listen, I don't want to keep you on the line too long. I learned one hard lesson tonight already. Okay?
Yeah, well, like I said, I've got myself covered.
I hope that's so. You take care.
You too.
Right. Weird. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, Art, this is Vince in Chicago.
Hi, Vince.
Oh, that caller that, when you had the blackout there, we heard about 2 minutes of it in Chicago, and, it sounded, pretty scary. It sounded like that guy was a little scared. And, I know he had
little scared? You should have heard the end of the call. I mean, I got to complete the call here. I really shouldn't say that. He screamed at the end, and the line went dead. And then everything went dead. Well, actually, it went dead before that. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, we heard about 2 minutes of it, and it was, there were some clicks in and out on somewhere in the transmission, like it was going dead a little bit. Then it was dead over here in Chicago for, almost 2 minutes of dead air. And it sounded like he was really losing it. And he mentioned, that something is going to happen, and, somebody, no one's telling us what's going to happen.
That's right.
What, you want to tell us what he might have said at the end?
At the end, he was saying he was on the line too long. At the end, there was a scream, and the line went dead. I'm just telling you what happened. And, of course, at that point, my hotline was ringing. I was getting real busy because we were off the air. So, the network was telling me we were off from this end. And so I was, at that point, contacting people and trying to establish a backup system, and they were running a Mark Furman tape. And so that's where everything ended. I stopped listening and stopped functioning as I normally do at exactly that point. So
that was a good call, and that's one that might have to be played again. Maybe I'd like to hear it again.
Well, you know what? It can't be, except for up to the point where the network lost it.
Oh.
In other words, I don't, as a matter of course, record here. The network records. But they would have only recorded up to the point where it went dead. Now, I'll tell you this, I would like to hear it myself. So when we get everything back to normal, I'm going to have the network play that back so I can hear it.
Do you think it was legitimate?
I really, at this moment, can't say. I find it rather strange that everything failed during that call.
That was weird, because I was playing with my dial, wondering what happened, if something was wrong with my radio. There was dead air for a good 2 minutes.
Man, that's serious for WLS in Chicago. 2 minutes of dead air.
Yeah, another thing, that first caller, the first Area 51 caller, it seemed like that guy had a lot to say.
I agree with you.
I think he should call back again sometime. I think he's got a lot to talk about.
Well, we've had a lot of strange calls tonight. I should have done this a long time ago. All right, thank you.
All right, Kevin, one more thing?
Yeah.
The program with Jim Collier debating Richard Hoagland about whether we walked on the moon.
Yes.
I've been listening to you for about a year, and I think that was one of the best programs I ever heard.
Well, they really went at each other.
They really did.
It's funny. People had either a very positive or a very negative reaction to that program. Some people sent me emails that it was the worst thing they ever heard.
No, I thought it was very hard-hitting and entertaining.
Well, that's what it's all about. Thanks, Vince. Take care. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air.
Hi, yeah, I'm calling from Rochester, New York.
Where?
Rochester?
Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
Are you an ex-Area 51 employee?
No, I'm not. But I've got some valid points.
Well, then you're going to have to make your valid points on another line. Now, this is a special line. Only Area 51 employees call this line. So contact me on one of the other lines. All right? All right. Thank you. See? You can't cheat. The rules are the rules. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hello, Art. Your tonight's show is fascinating, of course. I'd like to suggest a possible open line for NASA employees for the secret NASA.
NASA employees?
For the secret NASA.
A NASA line, you mean?
Right. For the for the secret NASA that Richard speaks of, as opposed to the one that we all know about.
You're absolutely right. That's a wonderful idea. A NASA secret mission line.
Right. I also had a question. You've given us some great movie reviews in the past, and what do you use your Real Talk for? You said you use yours every day.
I use it for recording other talk shows that are on the air when I'm on the air.
Okay.
So I can listen to my competition.
Right. Okay, I want to suggest that for the NASA line, though.
All right, take care. Right, bye. That's what I use it for. I generally run it when I'm on the air. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Art.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I have a couple of 3 points. First of all, I'm an audio engineer, and you might be interested to know that you're still having little burbles in your audio.
Well, I'm sure it's because of the backup system.
Anyway, this is Nick from Oak Harbor, Washington.
Yes.
And I am near Whidbey Naval Air Station here, and I worked on that base for almost 7 years.
Whidbey, yes.
We have seen the silent craft that you've talked about, and also it's interesting that, and I am near Whidbey Naval Air Station here, and I worked on that base for almost 7 years.
Whidbey, yes.
We have seen the silent craft that you've talked about, and also it's interesting that they have areas here.
Triangular craft, sir?
The silent ones. I couldn't, yes. My wife and I, well, it's a long story. Actually, I'm blind, but my wife saw them. We weren't more than a couple 300 yards from them.
So you're relying then on her description, physical description?
Yes, but I was there to vouch that there was no noise, and she saw them very plainly for, about 2 or 3 minutes.
Boy, of all the times that it would be hard to be sightless, that would be one of them, huh?
I agree. It would be, but another interesting, first of all, may I say one thing about the caller that called between 11 and 11:30?
Which one?
From Area 51.
Yes.
That was talking about the Supreme Commandant or whatever that was.
Oh, yes, of course.
You need to know that he was the same guy that called when you had that Men in Black line.
Well, you know what? There are several people who have said that, and I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. It could be true.
And he was telling somewhat different, similar stories.
Similar story. It could have been the same one.
Yeah.
It absolutely could have been the same one, but it could still be a valid call.
But it's interesting about this Naval Air Station up here, and I'll probably have somebody at my door in a few minutes for this, but they have areas up here that are posted, no photographs beyond this point.
Yes, yes.
And many areas on the base that, of course, are more or less restricted. Well, some of that I understand. But when I worked there, they had this giant underground construction going on. Humongous kind of earth movers and things in here.
All underground?
Yes, sir.
What were they doing?
And they denied it.
They denied it?
Well, this is so ridiculous you're not going to believe it, but it's the truth. When we would ask anybody out there, of course, they would deny that anything spectacular was being built, and yet we could see these huge earth movers. They're too big to miss. I'm an entertainer, so I didn't work directly with that, but I worked at one of the clubs there. And every time they would scoop out a great big scoop of earth, we could feel the whole club shake, And they always denied that anything special was going on.
What do you think they were doing?
I'm not sure, but I do know that there is must be a rather large underground complex there. And whether it's a safety a hardened site like you have in the mountains back there, or what it is, I don't know for sure. But
and how long ago was this?
This would have been in 90 and 91.
Okay.
This project extended over some period of time.
Well, I'd sure love to know what's down there, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
You take care. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Whidbey Island, huh? Anybody else know about the diggins under Whidbey Island? What do you suppose we might be doing? Well, operating on a backup system, but we are still here. I'm Art Bell, and this is Coast to Coast AM. Well, now again, here I am. We remain, ladies and gentlemen, on a backup system at this hour. The transmitter on this end, apparently having had a massive heart attack or stroke, I don't know. Everything's out. Literally everything's out. And to add to the mystery, I just got a fax and I just verified it. Last words heard were approximately, quote, major cities will be wiped out. They want this to better control the remaining population. And then I guess, according to this faxer, that's where we went off the air. Then I got another fax a moment ago saying, Art, during that exact moment that you went off the air, the counter on the website jumped by about 300 and you went over 5 million. And I just checked it out. I'm on my own website right now, and he is exactly correct. We went over 5 million. Now, I wonder if I go to my own live studio cam, which is not live right now, what the last picture taken was before all of this began to happen. And I'm looking at it right now. Here we are. Interesting. You can see me on a telephone, and you can see my mystery guest in the background. Before the program is over today, I will tell you who he is. But you can see the moment of the catastrophic moment was captured in the last studio live cam shot that we sent to the net. And you'll see me sort of panicked on the phone, and you'll see my guest making notes like crazy. Man, what a night. Broadcast. There's nothing like live broadcasting in the entire world. There's nothing like live broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. Now, I just talked to my boss at the network, Alan Corbett, and he said, in 35 years of broadcasting, this is the weirdest event that I've ever heard. And I second that. There are presently engineers racing to the network, probably already there at this hour. And so it's pretty weird. This whole thing is pretty weird. On the first-time caller line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes.
Actually, it's not the first-time caller line. This is my Area 51 line.
Okay, they said 702-727-1222 was the first-time caller line.
Well, that's right, but I take it you're a first-time caller.
Yes, I am.
See, I'm restricting this line to Area 51 callers, although I'm now beginning to get a little shy about talking to them, so
okay.
Bad things happen when you talk to them.
I had an interesting comment about an air show with a stealth fighter pilot that might be a little interesting.
All right.
Just a couple quick comments, if I can say.
Yeah, okay, slip them in. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead and slip them in now?
Go. You're on the air. I mean, turn your radio off. You're on.
Okay. It makes you wonder about some of these people on Area 51, the physical trail, the verbal trail, what they do with this. Well, I was down at an air show in Oklahoma, and they had a stealth fighter pilot down there, and it was after the Gulf War.
Yeah.
And a lot of people asked him questions, and he was saying how they were on the cutting edge of technology, being able not to be tracked by radar. And he said that they are restricted to what they know, but yet they do know quite a bit about the aircraft. And as people were filing in and asking questions, I'm kind of a skeptic, and I asked him, well, what's going to happen, with all these secrets of America being, bought from Russians and whatnot? What will they do with you with what you know? I said, are they going to set you up on a Caribbean island and, give you the royal treatment?
Yeah.
And his tone changed, and he said, first of all, I serve my country, and I never do anything like that. And it was almost like I struck a nerve, like, is this something that, maybe makes him wonder, too, that, when they release him from fighter duty, what are they going to do with him? So, it makes you wonder, like that guy saying that he took care of gaps.
Gaps,
Yeah, what's the deal? Do they just end any policy?
I think what he referred to as gaps end up being lumps in the desert.
So, it makes you wonder, like that guy saying that he took care of gaps.
Gaps,
yeah, what's the deal? I mean, do they just any pause? It makes you wonder.
I think what he referred to as gaps end up being lumps in the desert. Listen, I got to run. Thanks. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this last photograph up that was taken when we went down off the air, and you'll see me with a white phone line, which is my hotline, talking to the network, and you will see my mysterious visitor making notes, like scribbling like crazy, because we were off the air, blown off the air somehow or another. Now, will I stop taking Area 51 calls? No, I won't. Will my link go down? It might. So, folks, no guarantees about what is to come, but hey, what the hell? You only live once. On the international line, you're on the air. Where are you calling from, please?
Oh, it's Victoria, Canada.
Victoria, Canada. All right. Welcome to the program. Pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, I just want to, don't know if you know, but your international feed's gone down too up here.
I beg your pardon?
Your international feed to Canada has gone down.
It has?
Yeah, well, I'm not hearing you guys from up here in Canada, but I can hear KIRO from Seattle.
From Seattle. So you're not hearing us in Canada? What station would you normally be hearing it on?
I'd normally be hearing it on CFAX.
CFAX.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if it ain't one thing, it's another.
I guess so.
Yep. Well, any comments on Area 51? You want to blow me off a few more stations?
Oh, I can't think of anything about Area 51, although I've kind of had the idea or thought that maybe you're broadcasting from Area 51.
You think so?
I don't know.
Close by, I'll tell you that much anyway. All right, thank you very much for the call, and I'm glad you can at least hear us wherever it is you're listening. On my Area 51 line, see, I won't stop, you're on the air.
Hello, Mr. Bell.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm well. You're listening, right?
Yes, sir. Security.
This is what they make backup systems for.
Well, right on. Right on. I'm security.
For Area 51?
For Area 51.
Currently?
Currently.
Aren't you risking quite a bit by talking to us?
Oh, no. No, because professional cleaners, they dig a lot of holes in the desert.
God. Professional cleaners?
Yes, sir.
Cleaners. I don't think I like that term. What do you clean?
Well, I use a lot of acid, and I dig a lot of holes.
And you dig a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And I bet you don't let the little things bother you, huh?
No, you can't.
Oh, God. Let's see. How can I dredge the truth from you? How can I know you're telling me the truth?
Just a guess. I don't know.
In other words, we just got to listen and believe, huh? How long have you been doing this job?
Well, 1990.
Since 1990.
I was in some Gulf War operations, things like that.
How'd you get picked for this job?
Well, rigorous training, various governmental issues that you have to know, a lot of brain work, mostly.
Got any idea why I was tossed off the air like that?
I have a good idea. We worked with some things, some different satellite operations in the Gulf War where we cut down certain transmissions. I have no idea what happened tonight. I wouldn't want to say what happened tonight, but I don't think the caller will be calling back, although I had nothing to do with that.
You're the second one to say that.
Well, something's been done.
Obviously.
Something's been done, and things will continue to happen for national security. I mean, people need to know certain things on a need-to-know basis.
And otherwise they don't need to know them, huh?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I appreciate the call. So there you go, see? It is true that, and my boss, believe me, is not given to conspiratorial thought. Certainly not the way I play around with it, but look here. That was one of the weirder calls we've ever had. Nothing, I guarantee, was staged. It just happened. And I have never seen, in all the years I've been broadcasting, the kind of massive failure that we've got right now. I still have no idea, by the way, what's occurred. They're accessing my transmitter by modem, trying to figure out what's occurred.
and we'll let you know. But I've never seen this kind of massive failure ever. And as you well know, we've been broadcasting in this manner for years and years and years and years, reliably. Save one time when a rat threw wire through, but it's not that this time. East of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning to you.
First name only is Gary. I'm calling you from a cell phone in southeast Missouri.
Okay.
And I was going to say I missed the part where you were off the air, but I had a question for you. It doesn't deal with Area 51. There was a book, and I believe you had the author on. It was called The Mysterious Valley, and the author's name is Christopher O'Brien, I believe.
No. I think you're confusing me with another program. I don't recall either the author or the book.
Okay, well, he's talking about the San Luis Valley, and it borders Colorado and 2 other states, and he was talking about a lot of very mysterious activities, UFO activity. If you get a chance, that would be a pretty good person to have on your program. He had some very interesting things. He started out as, I think, something of a skeptic, and then he found himself in the same position you were in. He's been deluged by people with stories and has actually taken photographs and footage himself of UFO phenomenon.
Well, by the way, we've got, in case anybody is really wondering and curious, we've got a picture of Area 51 on the website now. The non-existent Area 51 that I'm apparently getting in so much trouble for talking about.
Right. Oh, and I had a suggestion for you. The gentleman that asked about what color was the door, how you paid for your lunch, one way you might want to verify that is get somebody that you think would be credible, maybe this Bob Lazar or somebody, and then privately ask them and give them the questions, say what is your answer to it, and then use that, and then...
All right, that's a pretty good idea. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Right, that's a good idea. I could do that. I know Bob. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Art?
Yes.
Hi, I'm calling about the guy who called from Whidbey Island.
Yeah, but you're not an Area 51 employee, are you?
Well, this is the only line I knew.
No, you gotta call on another line.
Okay, which one do you know?
Any of them.
Okay.
All right, bye. See, that's for Area 51 employees only. Or retired Area 51 employees who would be more likely to talk in my estimation. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air.
Hey there, let me turn down my radio here.
All right, please.
Okay, let me just say something about that,
Are you an Area 51 employee?
Not currently, no.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
All right.
But I only will stay on the line for 45 seconds.
All right, then go.
Did you hear a distinctive sound? You wouldn't have, but I want you to ask your listeners. There was silence, and then there was a distinctive voice. Didn't sound like yours. It sounded something like I heard connect very faintly, and then nothing. But
you don't have that on tape, do you?
Oh God, I wish I did. I usually tape a lot of your shows because I don't get to hear them. And tonight was one of the very rare nights that I didn't. But I'm going to hang up now.
All right, you're exactly right. 45 seconds on the nose. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Bill.
Yes.
This is Steve in Greenville, South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
The caller that came on, the guy that was pretty scared.
Yeah.
He came on, and he was kind of ranting and raving about how scared he was, and he said something about they're going to triangulate pretty quickly.
Yes.
Then he was tore up and almost crying. I thought it was going to be a crank call, because I thought at any time it was just going to be a crank call.
No.
Until he said something about natural disasters that are going to happen. They know all about it, and then they're going to, destroy it. They want this because they want the cities destroyed to make the people more controllable.
Okay, and that's
when he cut off.
That's when he cut off. Yeah, I got that in the facts.
And then there was what this guy just said. Some other, you were off the air for just a second or two.
Yeah.
Then another sound in the background. I couldn't tell if it was him yelling or this connect or whatever. And then you were.
You heard that too?
I heard it faded back in, and I couldn't. I'm in my car right now calling you. I've been trying to call to tell you exactly what I heard, and because I focused, it was so weird. I thought it, like I say, it was going to be a crank call, but then all of a sudden, he really, that when all this happened made it sound pretty real. But something came back in with some other conversation. It went back out for like a minute and a half, and then your opening theme song,
Yeah, that's when the network brought up my theme. That wasn't coming from me. That was coming from the network.
Right. It played for about maybe a minute or a minute and a half. And then all of a sudden, Mark Furman's talking about, here's a couple of plants for home growth and the show you did the other night.
Well, here's the weird thing. The moment they told me I was off the air, I turned and started monitoring my own network.
Right.
And it lasted for about a minute or 2 minutes, I would say.
Right.
And then it went like that, and I lost the network here.
Yeah. And I was listening to this guy talk, and I said, I've got to call because there was a lot of things this guy was saying that weren't, he was just kind of scared, and but I remember him saying, I can't talk too long because they'll triangulate on this pretty quick. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And and then he was like ranting and raving and back to and I thought he said like natural or disaster.
He did. He said something about natural disaster.
It was, man, Art, you got an awesome show. That's all I can say.
Yeah, thanks.
We enjoy it out here.
I just hope I can keep doing it.
And you're getting burbles. I guess that's from your backup system.
Yeah, that's correct.
I've got a guess on I'm in my car, so I can't see a computer. It's not fair to us not to know who your special guest is.
No.
Well, that was my guess.
Good guess. All right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you now, because I know that some of you will go to morning shows on the East Coast. My special guest is name? Mark Ehrman, not Mark Furman. Mark Ehrman, and he is here making notes like crazy and watching this crazy night occur to us. And he is here from Penthouse Magazine. So Penthouse is going to do a story. They got a hell of a story now, huh? So what you will see in the background is me. If you look at the studio cam, I bet people are going up there like crazy right now. You will see me just after the failure has occurred, and you'll see Mark Ehrman from Penthouse Magazine making notes like crazy. So there you are, folks. I didn't want to hang people up. I just thought and by the way, everybody's guessed, everybody from my son to, I've got a whole stack of faxes here guessing that, he was everybody but who he is. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello. Going once. Going twice, gone. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
In remote viewing, I discovered there's a huge alien base centered about east of you, and it could have tentacles that reach all the way to Washington State. And I just want to say that I think by reviving our spiritual life is the only protection we have, because the technology and military systems are far outweigh our own, and there's just no other way but to put icons in your home to pray and revive your own religious and spiritual life.
That's it, huh?
That's the way it looks to me. So I picked up a few of the CIA books and started honing in on my own remote viewing capacities.
And you discovered all this?
I saw that just the other day. So it could be psychomental material. It's hard to say.
That's a new one on me, a new word, psychomental.
Yeah. Psychomental material, and we're dealing with kind of a reptoid race, greys, and draconians, and they're not really friendly to us, you know?
Especially to Earth women.
Well, I feel safe. I really feel safe because I'm resting in the heart of God, so that's what I want to say to the viewers is, like, if you've got the remnants of your religion, call them out. This is the time for it.
All right. I'll consider myself preached to there. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, Art.
Yes.
I got a quick question. It's Area 51?
Yes.
What exactly is that? I tuned in about an hour ago, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, where are you?
I'm in Montana.
Montana. Area 51 is a secret base that the U.S. government claims does not exist, that I have a photograph of up on the website, where they do all kinds of really weird things. And it's just a few miles over the mountain from me here. That's Area 51.
Okay. It's in Nevada then? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not far from the Mercury test site, if you have heard of that. Well,
I have no idea where that is.
Well, that's where they lit off the big bombs.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Right. And your website is, what's the address for that?
It's www.artbell.com.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Take care. That's it. That is my website. And it just, during the outage, incredibly, what are the odds of that? It clicked over to 5 million, and I verified that, too. Ooh, this is a very strange night on Coast to Coast AM. Well, it just gets stranger and stranger. I have never heard of what you're about to hear about in all my life. I'm going to take you now up to Oregon, Medford, Oregon, where our network engineer, Tony Howell, is on the line. Tony, are you there?
Yes, Ed, I'm here.
Okay. Tony, you just got off the telephone with General Electric in New Jersey, I guess, correct?
Correct, GE Americom.
GE Americom in New Jersey. When I went off the air, what happened?
Well, the story goes that the satellite that you transmit on, GE1, seems to have lost its Earth sensor lock.
Its Earth sensor lock.
Correct, meaning that it lost its orientation in the sky just slightly and started a kind of a shift. So many of the frequencies, KU and C, actually started to phase out, and that's what happened to your frequency.
So in other words, it would not just have been me, it would have been everybody on the satellite I'm using, which would have been quite a considerable number of broadcast facilities, wouldn't it?
Well, even wilder than that, it was 50 channels.
50 channels?
50 channels on GE1, not including our channel, which is the network's KU channel, which, as everybody knows, we stayed on the air just fine. You're the one that went down.
Yeah, I went down. That's right. Well, then how could you... No, wait a minute. Well, you use the same GE1 to get it back to New Jersey, right?
Exactly. That's what's just amazing.
If it lost Earth lock, it should have lost, which means the satellite lost orientation momentarily.
Right.
Then it should have lost it for everything.
Well, strangely enough, many channels did stay on the air, including our channel, except your channel, and 50 others.
And 50.
So it just depended who you were and where you were.
Too weird, Tony.
Really weird.
And if that's not weird, as you know, I monitored my transmitter here, and I watched all the sync locks, and they were gone, like this transmitter was gone.
Yeah, you just weren't touching anything in the sky. I mean, you were totally missing your
satellite
bird. Yeah.
Oh, so, Tony.
I know it took them about a half an hour to get it back together. They had everybody scrambling around GE, trying to get it orientated properly.
Well, I sure would like to understand how you can lose 50 channels out of a total of how many, do you think?
I would say there's probably at least 200 up there, at least.
So then a quarter of the channels were lost because it lost its look at Earth. You know what? I almost don't believe that. I mean, I guess I've got to accept the explanation.
Well, you know yourself that with all the weather changes going on, things are just terribly weird around here.
Weird is the word for it.
If for some reason it was supposed to be looking and getting its power solarly from the sun and looking at it in a specific spot and not finding it there, it could have lost its sync.
Oh, so maybe just one of the panels supplying, say, a quarter of the spacecraft lost it.
Yeah. Of course, GE, it's still early in the game. GE's not quite certain, but that's how it's looking.
Well, Tony, it's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, you got me.
All right, well, I do have you, and I'm glad to have you, and I'm sure glad you gave us all that information. And now I'm more curious than ever.
Well, just so you know, GE is supposed to publish a public report on what happened. So you will get some kind of information out of it.
I wonder if we'll get the real thing.
It'll be interesting to see.
It was did you hear you probably didn't hear the moment that it failed.
I actually did, and I've just re-listened to it, and you can hear it slightly lose lock when the caller was talking at the end of his conversation. All right.
Tony, bless your heart, I thank you for coming on the air and telling us about this. I still don't fully understand nor believe. I guess we'll see the written report. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Art.
That's Tony Howell at our network in Oregon. So, my transmitter didn't blow up, even though it acted like it blew up, because it lost everything. My transmitter lost everything. And the network, using the same satellite to transfer it to New Jersey, did not lose it. But it wasn't because of anything that happened here. It was because the satellite itself, they say, lost Earth, the link to Earth, didn't know where Earth was anymore, or at least a portion of it, and took about a quarter of the totality of the channels, 250, off the air. Now, is that weird or what? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my little commercial set here, and then I want the folks at the network to back it up at least 2 minutes or more before failure, and I want to replay that, and I want to hear it myself. So I'm going to be listening to it down here. So if the network would please prepare to do that. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really, really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens, Art, they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
That was it. That's where it cut off. Wow. All right, now I've heard it. I thank you, folks. I was unable to hear that myself until just now. Weird stuff. In all my life. I went in the other room, and I looked at the uplink transmitter, and it was like it was dead as a doornail. I mean, everything was there was no sync light, there was no anything. Every indicator on the transmitter said it was dead as a doornail. And in fact, it was not dead. The satellite in space that it was looking at was dead. Or only, to be more specific, one portion of that satellite in space was dead. I don't know. This is one for the record books. On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yes, I'd like to follow up with the Area 51 contributions being given.
Yes, please. Are you an employee or were you?
Actually, in a separate field, but related. Within the Nevada state, we have several air traffic dispatches that handle a lot of, the bank's work when they fly in case of a national disaster. We're up and green-lighted to go ahead and make sure that people's money is safe and all the transactions are
God
in
knows
good hands.
if there's a national emergency, the one thing we have to preserve is our financial structure, huh?
Yeah, well, money makes the world go round.
Yes, it does.
Oh, no, I try not to preach that. Anyhow.
Well, it really is true, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a necessity, and at one time it did pay my bills. I'm not in that field anymore. That's on account of personal problems, but in relation to being around certain facilities that would, handle any kind of incoming or outgoing dispatching of just, small light craft. We had an interesting cleaning service that would come in and collect every piece of hard copy transcript that we'd have print up in regards to weather charting, in regards to
cleaning service.
Absolutely, absolutely. They'd come in and they'd go ahead and take and make sure that any kind of trash that we had, or any kind of hard copy of any kind of weather reporting, or any kind of basic, satellite. We have a national weather service which provides us with reasonable anticipations of what precipitation might be like at certain altitudes that our pilots that are coming in are available.
Okay, that makes
to come in
sense.
safely. Anyhow, all of that had to be confiscated, and we weren't allowed to hold on to any records, which proved really interesting because it was pretty tight security for just working on these small aircraft flying back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But those cleaning guys didn't mess around. They were pretty serious about their business.
I had a fellow a little while ago who called himself a cleaner, so I take it you bought that as serious.
Well, it rang a muted bell, and that's why I decided I'd contribute. But I was going to call you on the first time caller thing, and then when he mentioned the cleaner thing,
yep,
it rang a bell. Anyhow,
would you
show.
think? May I please ask a question?
Shoot.
I know that you may not be able to answer this, but wild as this may sound, it does now appear that the satellite that I'm using suddenly lost Earth track. Or at least a portion of the satellite I'm using, which is even stranger, lost Earth track during a very critical call, as you heard.
That's really rare. That is such an infrequent happening.
Infrequent? I've never in all my broadcast career heard of it occurring. Ever. Ever. And I've been in this business for 30 years now.
Absolutely. And considering the kind of money that's involved, it really surprises me that, something like this
So my
is being taken lightly.
question is, could somebody have deliberately caused what occurred?
How hard can it be? Someone's at the controls.
I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless.
Take care. There you are. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hi.
Thank you.
Turn your radio off, please.
Turn your radio off, George.
Very important. I know the other person probably wants to listen, but it won't work. You got to have that off.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Nancy in Palm Springs.
Hi, Nancy.
I'm a 10-year listener, first-time caller.
All right.
All right. Last week, a gentleman called, I believe, from Lakewood, California. He was trying to get a copy of Penthouse magazine for September. And I just wanted to say that on September 1st, I went to 3 or 4 places trying to get it. And the man where I finally found a copy said he had been told to pull them all and send them back.
You know what? I've heard this from I don't know how many different callers and faxers that the September issue of Penthouse got pulled back. I've got a Penthouse person sitting right next to me.
That's what I understood. And the thing is that I said, well, I didn't want the October issue. I wanted the one that had that cancer article in it.
Right.
And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I was told to pull them, but they're still sitting in the back room. If you want to wait a minute, I'll go get you one of them, which he did. And I bought it and left and was very grateful because they were told to pull them and send them back. That's what the man told me at the
All right.
store.
Look, I've got somebody from Penthouse here. I'll ask for you, all right?
Sure.
All right, thanks. I've had a bunch of people tell me that. Is there anything to that at all? You are if you get closer. Have you heard that yourself? Tomorrow. All right. That'd be cool. Thanks. Yeah, I've heard that from a number of people that issue was somehow recalled or called back. I don't know what the deal is, but there was a big article by Kathy Keaton, Bob Guccione's wife, about her cancer treatment. Of course, we had Bob Guccione on, and then we had Kathy Keaton on, and I got, I don't know, a good dozen reports. That magazine had been called back. Curious, very curious, on a curious night. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art.
Hello.
I just wanted to say a couple things about the fellow who called and was so scared.
Yeah.
It's often hard to tell who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. But I was talking myself out of believing that he was for real because he was sort of too scary.
Yep.
But going back to, I get certain physical sensations when I know I'm hearing the truth. And that guy was for real.
Well,
I believe he was. I think you have a couple of callers tonight who were absolutely for real.
Me too. I say it again. I've been broadcasting for 30 years. And in 30 years, I have never seen what happened happen. In 30 years, I never have had a call quite like the one that I had when this occurred.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember Jimmy Joe Bob or whatever.
Jimmy Joe Bob, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yep, that was weird. But it was not quite as weird in its own way as this one.
For sure. And I also want to say a couple other things, and it's that I wouldn't personally believe General Electric and what they were telling me about what happened with the satellite.
No.
Wouldn't necessarily. And also, I think that national security is unnecessary. I think that there really and truly is no such thing as national security. I think it's always been breached. I think that whoever's supposedly the enemy, that we all know each other's so-called secrets.
You know what I worry about now? That I'm the enemy.
Oh yeah, well, exactly. And we are the enemy, for talking about it out loud.
You might be exactly right. I gotta go, hon. We're at a break point here, bottom of the hour. That's a hard thing to contemplate, isn't it? That we, or even that I, might be the enemy. This is Coast to Coast AM. Let's go to our international line and say good morning.
Good morning.
Who are you and where are you calling from?
I'm going to use a alias of Bill. I'm calling from Tucson, Arizona.
Bill, Tucson. Mm-hmm. How did you get on my international line?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I called the 1702 number.
Oh, you did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, why are you using an alias? There must be a reason for that.
I used to work for Hughes Aircraft as maintenance mechanic, maintenance engineering. And a lot of the work at Area 51 comes out of Hughes Aircraft.
You bet it does.
And we worked with some equipment. I don't want to get real specific.
By the way, just so you know,
fairly top secret equipment.
Just so you know, sir, I'm a Hughes AML microwave school alumni myself.
Okay. We used to have a piece of equipment. We had a hell of a time shielding. And whatever hammered you, hammered Tucson.
Hammered Tucson?
It hammered Tucson, Arizona.
How so?
I was sitting here working on my computer listening to the radio, and at exactly 10, maybe 15 seconds before you lost your signal, I lost every bit of data on my computer.
You're kidding.
My hard drive is fine, but every bit of data on it's gone.
That implies an EMP pulse.
Uh-huh.
You know what?
Well, there's more.
Well, let me suggest something to you. Hold on, slow down. Did you know that our Defense Department requested permission to zap a satellite in orbit with a laser? Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
That's news that's been breaking over the last few days, and that just came back to me now.
No, you got hit with an EMP pulse. I would be willing to bet, because what I was telling you about this piece of equipment, we had a hell of a time shielding. If I didn't keep my watch in my locker, it would wipe my watch too. I got a digital watch.
Yeah.
I went and checked my watch. It's wiped. It's blank. It's reading 12 midnight flashing. Just as if I would change the battery. Whatever hits your transmitter, I have to tend to believe we've got a lot of cloud cover down here right now.
Yeah.
I think we got a cloud bounce out of it, and it hammered Tucson.
Okay. I appreciate the call. I'm sorry you lost everything on your drive.
I've got it backed up on disk. That's no big deal, but I'm just letting you know I've seen what EMP can do.
Well, I just got handed a fax from Buzz in California that says, Art, don't know if you heard the comment, the caller who claimed to be a gap fixer, but he said that you were pulsed.
Uh-huh.
And you agree.
Uh-huh. I didn't hear the comment, but I can certainly concur that you got pulsed. I believe the validity of that one call, I believe it was absolutely valid.
I appreciate your call. Thank you. Well, there's a bunch of people saying it then. I'm in a very strange business, you know it. First time caller line. No. Area 51 line, you're on the air.
Hello, Mr. Bell.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm a little stranged out.
I know.
Since you ask.
I know a lot of things have been happening out there today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some gaps has been fixed, and our streets are nice and clean.
Some gaps have been fixed, and our streets are nice and clean. That's kind of cryptic.
Mm-hmm.
You mean it to be?
Yeah. Situation was taken care of rather quickly, wouldn't you say so?
How do you know what you know?
I'm a current Area 51 employee, and we've handled the problem.
You know what? I'm beginning to believe. You're really an Area 51 employee.
Yes, sir.
Are you not afraid of retribution for making this call?
No, because we're security, and that's why Area 51 exists, as far as security.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And just situations have been claimed tonight, especially.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, I'm not sure I want to pick up that line anymore. I believe in coincidence. I really don't like jumping to some sort of conspiratorial answer for something that occurs automatically, but for this to occur at that particular moment, something that I've never seen occur in 30 years of broadcasting during a very specific moment, I find that coincidence way beyond any probability. And now I'm getting callers saying, yeah, it was pulsed. It was done to you. Strange life. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yeah, hi, Art Bell?
That's me.
Yes, hi. This is Mike from New York. I'm calling because I recall a guest you had on several weeks ago who spoke of an incident occurring in Cheyenne Mountain, Wyoming.
Yes, you're exactly right. What he said, to catch the audience who might not have heard that,
right,
is that there are a whole bunch of Cheyenne employees
right,
who decided to retire early, took their families, and moved to, I think he said, South America?
Right, South America. And I guess it was Stan Deo from Australia who had some connection with a retired chaplain in the Army who had spoken to some of these people as they were passing through.
Yep, that's exactly right. And we had a number of people verify that. Now, that's scary as hell, because why would employees in Cheyenne Mountain suddenly decide to take their families and every friend they could convince and leave?
Right, and on a moment's notice, with the idea that they were exposed to, it's at least the impression I got, that they had access to information as it was fed into Cheyenne, Wyoming, that they saw something that scared them and prompted them to leave very quickly. And I'm wondering possibly if that's connected to what this caller was, this man who was frightened earlier was referring to in respect to some impending disaster or disaster.
Yeah, for a second, just forget about the fact that I seemed to be blown off the air. I mean, I've never seen it. Forget about that, and just go back to the content of the call as much as you heard.
Yeah, well, it was strange. I mean, I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to speaking on the radio, but I didn't know what happened. I thought possibly that you had gotten off the air with him and was speaking to him, and you had cut the music on yourself because it sounded like he was starting to lose it, and you were, just trying to calm him down. And
No, that call was completed. I mean, in the sense that I would say it went on probably another minute from that point, and then he screamed, and the connection terminated.
And the scream was not recorded by your network in Oregon.
No, because that's when we lost the satellite.
Right.
And I thought I was still on the air. I looked over, I saw my hotline from the network ringing.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up, and they said, "Hey, we've lost you."
Right. And what do you think prompted the scream? Could you hear anything in that 1 minute that the network where we had could no longer hear him, but you still could? What did he say during that 1 minute interval? Do you recall? Or that would be interesting.
It was kind of like he realized that he had been on too long. I'm sort of paraphrasing the last minute because it was a very confused time. But I had the sense that he felt that he had been on too long, that somebody was on to him or something was about to happen to him. And then at the very end, this is all stuff you didn't hear.
Right.
It was kind of a scream and a screech and a cutoff, just a click.
And did the other man, the mystery or the penthouse guest in your studio, did he get to hear what you heard, or was it just like through your?
No, he got to hear what thank God. Yeah, you're right. You know what? Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Take those headphones off. Take those headphones off. Talk to this caller.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, did you got to hear that 1 minute interval of between when the network cut off and when the man screamed and hung up the phone, or was?
Well, actually, the call, what Art said is what happened. The call was completed. He screamed, and then the line went dead, and there was even another phone caller after that, I think an open line caller, and he was talking for a while, and it was during that call that I think Art realized that we weren't broadcasting.
Right. No, I understand that. I was just getting at during that 1 minute, when Art replayed what the network had on tape, we got to hear the caller who was, disturbed, what he had to say until that instant when it was cut off for us, but you still got to hear another minute of that phone call.
Yeah, it's hard to say how much more of that there was, but yeah, probably about a minute.
About a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, you couldn't relay to the audience anything additionally as to what the caller was saying or about disasters or anything else. Did he give anything more specific, or could you hear anything in the background? I mean, was it like, did someone run up to the phone and knock it out of his hand, or, could you tell?
Well, I actually had thought it sounded something like that, or the phone dropping. It was hard to tell, and I think it got kind of more and more rambling toward the end and more disconnected, but,
okay.
Yeah,
No, that's fine. I was just, as I was saying to Art, that he had a caller who several weeks ago mentioned a bunch of employees, or now former employees of Cheyenne Mountain in Wyoming, which is connected with, I think, NORAD or SAC or something, and into which is fed all of the electronic and other intelligence information from around the world, vis-a-vis the federal government. And the impression I got, and I know some other people who listened that they got as well, was that these people saw something that scared the heck out of them, and it was something that they thought they could survive by leaving the country. And here this caller earlier, this disturbed man, is saying there are impending disasters which can be avoided. There are safe areas that you can go to, but the government or the people in power are not going to inform the average, citizen, the average American of these things, because it's going to serve some purpose that they have. Yet the people in Cheyenne Mountain, Wyoming, who presumably, possibly have access to this same information, saw this stuff. At least this is the conclusion maybe I'm coming to. Not categorically or absolutely, but there is some kind of an overlap here. Possibly saw the same information and decided to get to one of these so-called safe areas.
Yeah, well, I recall the show, but I wouldn't know anything
more about that. I just figured I'd bring it up.
Right.
As maybe an issue, maybe someone else can call in or someone who knows more about the Cheyenne Mountain.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to put Art back on.
Okay.
All right, I'm here again.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, all right, I heard all that, and I appreciate your call.
Okay.
And it's worthy, it's noteworthy what you said, the connection you make, and I'll think about that.
Yeah, I living in New York, I get your show on the skip from various cities, so I don't get to hear it every night. So maybe I was thinking I missed something in the interim. But
No, you heard an interesting show tonight, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Your show is great.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Take care. All right, without a lot of time, west of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
All right, you got only 8 minutes more until you close out.
Yep.
This is Lady of Connect. That day you came into Anchorage, was that the day that we had all that thunder and lightning stuff happening down here?
Where are you again?
Kinnick, Alaska.
Kinnick, Alaska. When I came into Anchorage, it was beautiful, beautiful weather for the Inside Passage, for the glaciers and all the rest of it. But when we got to Anchorage, it was pouring. It was. I was going to go up in a Black Hawk helicopter.
You remember that thunder and lightning?
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting across Cook Inlet when I was thinking about you when you was coming in. And what's really, really strange is how many people think you got listening out there across the world?
Millions?
1 million.
No. I said millions, plural.
Millions.
Yeah, they estimate 10 to 12 million.
Well, you know what, Art? I think you're more prophetic than what you realize.
Prophetic?
Because
Did you say pathetic or prophetic?
Prophetic, bad grammar. Yeah. Because you know why?
Why?
He says that in them days that people are going to leave the faith and give heed to seducing spirits.
Yep.
And he says it's going to be as it was in the times of Noah when people were laying with strange flesh. And I've heard you talk about people talking about all kinds of weird stuff going down. And you know what, Art? We're really in them days. And you know that red heifer?
Yep.
This last Passover, it was 18 months old. And this November, it's going to be 2 years old. And they can't use it for temple worship until it's 3 years. That's 1 year from this November.
That'd be about the right timing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's at the door.
All right.
But you know what, Art? If Teacher Malachi was on the air, there's one thing I would ask him about you. I'd say, you got all these people and stuff, and he'd say, are you hot or are you cold? Because if you're warm, he's going to spew you.
All right, thanks. I had to get Malachi back on the air again. I'm feeling the need. East of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hi.
Hi, Art. It's Paul in Philadelphia.
Hi, Paul.
Boy, that's pretty intense. That you got cut off there. I was thinking that if it is a real call, and what happened as a result.
Frankly, I don't know which is weirder: the call we had, or the story that GE Americom is trying to tell us about what happened.
Yes. Well, if it is real, then we should all pray that if he's been cleaned or whatever, that he is in the bosom of a friendly God. And if it's fake, I think we're all relatively intimidated. So I shall choose not to be intimidated. But
well, if it's fake, the timing was unbelievable.
Yes, and I'm successfully made nervous by it, and I wish you well, and love your show as usual, and that was pretty creepy.
Pretty creepy. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Take
Bye.
care. It's Paul in Philadelphia. First time caller. Oh no, I'm not even answering that line. Wildcard line, you're on the air. Hello.
Yeah, this is John in Sacramento.
Hi, John. Turn your radio off, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm reaching for.
All right.
Yeah. Art?
Yes.
Have an interesting fact for you if I can get it in.
All right, go.
I'm in Sacramento. Yesterday on the news, they announced there were 3 specially equipped planes that would be leaving McClellan Air Force Base that were going to be traveling to Bosnia that are equipped to shut down broadcast television.
I'm aware of that. They're not only going to shut it, they're going to jam it, and they
That's
also
right.
have the ability to broadcast a replacement signal. No, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I just wondered if they might have just left and passed over your station.
Done a test on the way?
Yeah, kind of, that kind of thing. Who knows?
Too weird for me.
Yeah, a little strange.
I appreciate
I had him a clip of video clip of him on the news here in Sacramento.
I'm very glad I had this gentleman from Penthouse with me tonight, just as a witness.
Yeah.
Because nobody else heard the rest of the call. He did.
Yeah, it was very unsettling, and all of a sudden we had the detective from L.A. when you came back.
Mark Furman, yeah.
And I had a detective friend call me. He said, "What's going on?" I says, "I think he's off the air with the guy that was on the phone or something."
That's exactly right. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. West of the Rockies, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Wally from Honolulu.
Hi, Wally.
Art, watch out. Courtney, remember Courtney Brown and all that happened?
Of course.
You know, couldn't it be that you're getting set up like he was?
Hey.
You gotta watch that.
Setups can happen anytime, can't they?
Yeah. But, because the guy sounded deranged to me. And also, I got a couple of seconds more than you had on that tape. You went in and out a couple of times before you finally went down.
Well, listen, this strange night is over. I'm out of time. From the islands, you're going to get the honors this morning, so do it.
Fantastic.
Do it.
From Honolulu, Godspeed to everyone.
That's it.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
That's it, folks. From the high desert. I'll be thinking about this one for a while. James Von Prague tomorrow night, assuming we're here. Good night.
Once again, actually, here I am, Dr. Evelyn Paglini, and my wife, Ramona Bell, will be back in just a moment as Dreamland continues. Here's an exciting testimonial for Arthritis Assist. It comes from 74-year-old Jean in Arizona, a dedicated listener to my program. She suffered from excruciating pain from osteo and rheumatoid arthritis now for years. Shoulders, feet, hips, hands. Quote, after taking Arthritis Assist for just 1 month, the pain is gone. I can raise my arms above.
And we're back once again. Ramona Bell doing Dreamland with Dr. Evelyn Paglini is my guest. Evelyn, are you back with us?
I certainly am here.
Excellent. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about protection. We got into the discussion that there are people out there who feel that they've been victimized, that they're being assaulted by other practitioners. Now what can we do if we find ourselves in an instance like this in protecting ourselves?
Well, the first thing I would suggest is to do a cleansing and then a shield of protection. And I would start with my environment. I would take a look at the house and I would make sure that I wanted to have the vibration of my home my own. And so therefore I would get some sage, I would get some sulfur, some sea salt, or even salt from the table can be used. But to me there's 3 levels of defense. And that would be your table salt or sea salt, your sulfur, and then your black salt, coupled with sage. And then also I would get a reverse candle, probably one that would have black on top and red on the bottom, only because I wanted to remove the negativity from my environment. I would start with the sage. I would go through the entire home, every room of the house, going up and down the halls, the doorways, all along the baseboard, all along the top of the ceiling, and I would cleanse the environment. While I was doing this, I would say that there is no evil or negativity that can stay within these walls. Then I would take my salt and my sulfur and my black salt, and I would do the inside as well as the outside of my home, every room of the house. When I went to my doors, I would take and put it across the threshold of the door, meaning the sea salt, the sulfur, and the black salt. Again, 3 layers of defense. Inside, outside. And I would state out loud and very firmly, there is no evil or negativity that can cross this threshold. Next, I would take care of the bedrooms, and I would square off the bed, making sure that when I was in repose or asleep, that I was not going to be attacked. And so therefore I am going to place my sea salt and my black salt, not the sulfur. And I would put that around the bed, and I would state out loud and firmly that there is no evil or negativity that can cross this barrier. Once I have done the entire home and its vibration has been changed, then it is so be it. It is done. Now, I can also use like rose geranium, rosemary, myrrh, cleansing, and protection oil to put on the doors and the windows and the sills of my home. Again, I am putting up a cleansing first and then a shield of protection second. Next, I'm going to do me, because now I've changed my environment. Now my environment is back to mine.
And now it's time
I'm
to
going to
change
take
you.
care of me.
Absolutely.
And now I'm going to take an image candle first, black. If you feel you're in a negative cycle, then all you need is a black image candle, the gender that you are. But if you feel someone has sent it or done it to you, then I suggest you get a reverse image candle, male or female. And what you would use is a reverse oil, an uncrossing oil, something that is going to take that negativity that has been placed upon you and not only clean it off of you, but is going to return it to the sender. And what I like about that is it's not going to anyone that you may have in your mind.
Absolutely.
It will only go to the person if they be guilty.
Hey, what goes around comes around.
Correct. And so to me, that's what I would do. Once I have completely cleansed my environment and myself, I can go to the next level if I desire. Meaning, if I know this is a person and the person doesn't want to back off, then I'm justified in taking care of it. If not, all I need to do is put up a shield of protection completely around the home, put up my mirrors, put up my flames, and allow it only that which is good and of God and is loving to penetrate. And then I would re-empower myself, revitalize and rejuvenate. Find out the areas that it had been affecting me. Is it my finances? Is it my relationships? Is it my health? And choose those areas. If it's my finances, get green image candles and do a fast luck, a prosperity, a better business. If it's my relationships, then I'm going to use red. And I'm going to bring back the revitalization and rejuvenation and stimulation of relationships. And if it's health, you're going to use white. If it's, let's say, your mental capabilities, you're very flighty, you're not concentrating, and you need to be grounded, well, I'm going to grab brown. Mm-hmm. And so and if it's love, if I'm really having problems in my love life, then I'm going to grab pink.
Well, you know, with all these images and candles and colors that we're going for, we have to understand that all these colors are natural, they're of nature, and they're of the original spectrum of colors.
Oh, yes, they have a vibration and an affinity to what we are desiring and attracting as a goal. The colors are there. We live and are influenced in color.
Absolutely.
And so God giving us the spectrum of color and its vibratory rate, because everything has a vibration, Ramona, you know that.
Absolutely.
So what you're gathering around you are those essential oils, herbs, extracts, flowers, resins, gums that have, as well as the color, the same affinity and vibration in order for you to achieve the goals. Just like now, I mean, it's time for planting of the garden. Boy, does this give
are
you
we
access.
ready? Are we ready to do this? And when you're finding out how to prepare yourself, how to plant a garden, it's best to have it absolutely natural. I mean, I use no pesticides, no insecticides, nothing of that sort. The only fertilizers I really use is a fish emulsion.
Excellent.
Little B1, and that's about it. You know, I'm allowing the yard the plants to take their nutrients from the natural desert soil itself. So I'm only growing things that I know will thrive out here. And a few of the things that I've planted in my little magical garden, I've kept with onions, you know, because onions are very good for healing purposes and keeping you cleansed and keeping you healthy, along with garlic.
Excellent.
But I put rosemary by my garden gate. I've got my bed all set for lavender and a little chamomile. And I've got my other herbs, my basils and my oreganos and chives and a few others here and there. But give me an idea for the basic backyard gardener.
Well, I'll tell you, if I wanted, first of all, what I love about if you have the yard to do it, not only are you having beauty, but you are spreading a vibration and a shield of protection around your home by using certain things. Now, first of all, to protect rosemary, five-finger grass, elder, valerian, boldo leaves. To bring more love around the household, I plant lavender, gardenia, little primrose, some spearmint, some hyacinth, some jasmine. And if I had the ability to put a couple of trees in, I use orange, apple, willow, maple. If I wanted to ensure that I would have success and money and prosperity, then the things, and believe me, if you come to my home and you walk around my garden, my front yard, my backyard, you're going to see the rosemary, but you're also going to see for money a little mint. There's always going to be some snapdragon. There's going to be some thyme. I will get dill. I will get mint and bayberry and mugwort and camellia. And, you know, for harmony, more harmony, I love lobelia.
Yes.
I like flaxseed. I like blessed thistle. So you can take from your garden, and even for those people who live in an apartment, you can take some of these and put these in. And you put your loving plants in the bedroom. You put your protective plants, I would say near your front door and your back door. And your health plants and your beauty plants for the raising of the vibration and to increase health, I would put in the kitchen, the bedroom, and the bathroom.
Yeah, these are things that can be done inside of window boxes.
Yes, you can use, let's say crocus, aloe vera, avocado. Okay, a bird's nest fern is excellent for protection. Do you know, especially for children?
Really? Ooh.
Yes. And bromeliads. Oh, you want to talk about I would say deflecting negativity and, giving you hope and bringing up your vibration and attracting abundance. And most people don't realize that cactus safeguards the home. All ferns safeguard and protect the home. Ivies protect the home. And all succulents bring abundance.
Well, then it's just a matter of finding the right things for your area, and you can just plant those in your yard or in your window boxes.
In your window boxes, or you could put the plants if you have porches or if you have terraces.
Yeah, don't let that space go to waste.
No, and believe me, you can hang them. You can bring them and cultivate them outside and bring them in and just put them in a vase to enhance the room or the mood for the day, the evening, or for what you're doing. Bring them into your temple or your sanctuary or your meditation room. Excellent vibrations that assist you. These are tools that are natural, and their vibration, believe me, assists you. They've been known for thousands of years. This is not something new, Ramona. You know that.
Absolutely. It's a very therapeutic way of getting, it dispels negative energy. It recharges you by getting you in touch with Mother Earth.
Absolutely.
And by the way, the reason why we're bringing all of this up, it is the spring equinox coming up. I believe by Sunday it is probably already have passed, and it's already going to be into the spring.
It is the first day of spring.
First day of spring.
It is the 21st.
Absolutely. And this is a time where you want to go ahead. You want to get rid of all that old nasty trash. You want to go ahead and get your hands dirty. Get in the dirt. Start working the earth and get back to the basics. Because, believe it or not, people, this is also a preparation for Y2K.
Yes, and for the countdown that's coming, the next 6-7 years, there is going to be so much devastation across the world, not just here within this United States. People have to get back into nature. They have to lift their awareness so that their intuition, their intuitiveness is going to give them warning signals, and they're going to start to learn to listen. Another thing, if you are not able to get medicine, if you are not able to go to your local pharmacy, what did our great-grandmothers do?
They went out into the backyard, they went out into the fields and the forests, and they went and harvested herbs.
And so, therefore, if you are in a situation that is devastating and you may be there for 30, 60, 90 days, or God forbid longer,
oh yes,
then you have got to know what can you do to help the situation of the family and the group and the unit that you are with. and the knowledge of these herbs and the access and the growth of these are going to be like gold.
Oh, absolutely. And understanding how to use them, where to use them, and why you're using them. One of the things that I've done, and a lot of people don't understand why, except, for personal use, I planted artichokes in my yard about 3 years ago, and they are beautiful. They're coming out perfect. Art's favorite vegetable. But it's also a member of the thistle family, which is used for cleansing the liver and keeping yourself balanced and toned. And that's one of the things I learned from a psychic healer who helped me along helping me control my asthma. I like your suggestion of lobila because that's also an herb that's used to help alleviate the asthmatic condition.
That's right.
So I've learned through
apple
time.
cider vinegar.
That too.
Okay, lowers your cholesterol. All right, and KNYE, has been used in Asia for how long? To regulate, especially the hormones of women.
Same with ginger.
Kava to reduce anxiety and tension and to take the edge off. All natural.
And ginger to use to keep your digestive system in total balance.
And a healthy cardiovascular system, honey. It also will boost your vitality and your circulation.
I know it does it for me when I drink a cup of ginger tea.
That's right. Fennel is good. Chicory root, angelica root, hops.
And this is not something for the professional gardener like Victory Garden and such. This is for the everyday average person. Men, women, children can go ahead, take a package of seeds, prep a little space in their backyard or in a flower pot or a window box, and you can do this year and see the results within a matter of a few months.
And you're changing the vibration of your home. You're learning something that is going to be very beneficial to you as well as I said, others in the coming things. I sometimes don't want to look. It's frightening. Because you see it in so many different areas, from floodings to volcanoes to earthquakes, that you say people have got to have opportunities to help themselves. And medicine is going to be a very big thing. In fact, there's going to be a lot more. I would have to say we're going to get into big-time bartering.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that's going to be up for barter is going to be anything that has to do with the knowledge of herbs, how to use them, and how to work with them. Books on those matters. I would seriously suggest to anyone to get out there and find books on herbology to give you an idea of what these plants can do and what their properties are, because you don't want to waste any time trying to guess.
Yeah, because you're not going to get over-the-counter drugs. You may not be able to have access. They will be gone.
Yeah.
Like water and batteries.
They figure about 2 days.
Yes, and in some instances, depending on the population, 5 hours.
Charming.
Later, I know we're coming up on a break, but later I wanted to get into some of the things that I'd like to recommend to people for bartering, because I really have a feeling that in the years to come, this is going to be like money.
All right. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to talk about barter. We're going to talk about magic do's and don'ts, because there's a lot of people out there who are doing things that you just may not expect the result to be that way. You just want to be sure you have everything planned before you start casting any spells.
And preparation.
Mental
preparation.
Yes, and we're coming to a great awakening, ladies and gentlemen, so get ready. There's going to be a test after the show tonight. My guest is Dr. Evelyn Taglini, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, let's talk a little skiing. I know the weather's beginning to heat up down here in the valley, but hey, let's whet your appetite. Cedar Breaks Lodge, Brian Head Resort up in Utah, wants to let you know that the skiing is great and in full swing right now. In fact, they're offering a 2-night package called Let It Snow that affords you and a companion a wonderful mini vacation for as little as $260. That's right, $260, and it's available March 26th and 27th. Here's what you get. 2-day lift tickets for 2 nights in one of Cedar Breaks studio suites, 2 continental breakfasts, and everything else that goes along with it. Also, March 26th and 27th is the same weekend that Hot Talk 105.1's Morning Divas, Julie and Carlo, will be up there skiing with you, so you won't want to miss it. Make your reservations now for March 26th and 27th at Cedar Breaks Lodge and Bryan Head Resort. And also be listening to Julie and Carla on Hot Talk 105.1 because they'll be giving away one of these ski packages free. To make your reservations for the Let It Snow package, call 1-888-AT-CEDAR. You know, I've been looking for a place that has great food where I can go with friends, kick back, relax, and enjoy. But I also needed a place to take business associates for a breakfast or lunch meeting, too. Well, I figured this place just didn't exist. Not true. I found it. Sneakers. That's right. Sneakers in the Renaissance Shopping Center at Trop and Eastern. Talk about a great place. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Plus, they have 16 TV screens, including a large screen so I can catch up on sports and other events. And they have an awesome happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. 7 days a week with half-price drinks and appetizers. I can enjoy the best cigar from their selections and play video poker, too. What more could you ask for? They have live entertainment on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday so I can take my girl and meet my friends for a night out. Sneakers. Now you know. Sneakers in the Renaissance Shopping Center at Trop and Eastern. The secret's out. Now don't forget it. Sneakers.
Ramona Bell, and Dr. Evelyn Paglini are directly ahead. The white LED flashlight shouldn't be called a flashlight. We only do so that you might understand what its basic function is. Otherwise, it has not much relationship at all to a regular flashlight. As a matter of fact, listen to me carefully. For example, your flashlight. Would it, on one set of batteries under normal use conditions, using it every day or so, every other day, last 2 or 3 years? No. This one will. Will your bulb, under normal use conditions, last 100,000 hours? More like 20. So you see, there's very little relation. Now, they both make light, and so we call it a flashlight so you understand what it is, but it's made of tough ABS plastic. Waterproof construction, O-ring construction. You can turn this damn thing on underwater. It's a remarkable flashlight. And it's only $34.95. Now, if you buy 3 or more, it's $29.95. So for whatever reason, Y2K, bad weather, storms are a-coming, that's for sure. As a matter of fact, I've got some information indicating there's a big storm brewing up across the date line right now. So we're going to have some rough weather, and if the power goes out, what do you want to have, your old flashlight or this? Call Bob Crane and get 1 or even 3 of these. The number is 1-800-522-8863. That's 1-800-522-8863, 7:30 a.m. preferred time, or prompt time, or if you must, Pacific time in the morning, 10:30 in the east, Monday morning. Don't let it slip. There are not many left. The best advertising is word of mouth. So, please allow me to introduce the words of Gilbert of Oak Harbor.
Ramona Bell coming to you live. Hosting Dreamland for the first time, actually hosting an art spot for the first time, bringing on a very special friend and guest, Dr. Evelyn Paglini. Evelyn, can you hear me?
I certainly can. Hi, Ramona. Hi, Art. Always a pleasure.
Well, the reason why the two of us are going to do the show today is because Art never seems to, every time he has you on, never seems to really want to touch the finer points of magic, getting into sympathetic magic, imagery, visualization, using candle magic, using herbs and essential oils. And I thought that it would be fun for the two of us to start a discussion about it, because a lot of listeners don't get this aspect of it. They get the more scientific aspect, and that's fine. But I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to be able to present it with you.
Well, I love it.
Evelyn, for the audience who have never been introduced to you before, can we kind of give them a capsulized version of who you are and how we came about meeting each other?
Well, let's see. First of all, I'm considered one of the leading authorities on the occult and the supernatural in the United States. I was born into a family of centuries-old practitioners of magic. And I guess it's because of that heritage that I went out and I sought to understand what it was, the talents and the abilities and the traditions that I had, And so from that, I went and studied at FRNM, which is the Foundation for the Research on the Nature of Man in Raleigh, North Carolina, Duke University. And I was very lucky because I had Dr. J.B. Ryan and I had Dr. Helmut Schmidt with his random lighting and his accelerated numbers. And I not only went there and learned, but I also became the guinea pig. And so from that, I founded the International Psychic Center, which was a central clearinghouse. And since then, it is a tool for investigation and research as well as education and training.
And you come from a long line of practitioners.
Over 1,000 years.
Practitioners, yes.
Over 1,000 years.
Over 1,000 years. Well, you can't argue with time. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why Evelyn, Art, and I became acquainted is because a situation had occurred in our lives, and Art went on the air and said, I'm looking for a witch. I'm looking for a broom-riding, cauldron-stirring, spell-casting witch, a real witch, you know, one that doesn't just talk about the white magic and the nice things and such. And lo and behold, we got a fax from you stating, I am that person. And he went on to interview you for the rest of that evening, didn't he?
That is correct.
And to make a long story short, the situation that we speak about is it's still pending on our minds right now, though it tends to have, you know, times of getting better. And this is one of those times, thank goodness. So with that aside, one of the things we want to bring up is that there's a great deal of magic out in this world, and it doesn't take the form of just spell casting. People don't understand that when you make a wish, you're actually casting a spell.
That is correct.
Or if you pray for a particular thing, for someone's good health, for their happiness, their well-being, for removal of pain, for healing, that's also casting a spell.
Correct. It's a thought form, and all thought forms have energy, and those energies are either directed or can be created, either around the person that is doing the thinking or that person that they are sending it to.
Mm-hmm. Well,
see, thoughts you have to be very careful of.
Absolutely. I think the very first spell that I ever did, and I'm sure every little girl in this world has done, has taken a flower in her hand and sat there and looked at it and started pulling the petals off, saying, he loves me not. You know, any girl who's ever been in love has done this. I don't care who you are.
Absolutely. They want to know, does the person love them? Or they want to say, how can I find that person that is going to be my companion or my mate?
Absolutely. And from this, we ladies tend to be. This is something I wanted to ask you. What is the ratio of female practitioners to male practitioners?
I would have to say 70% female, 30% male.
Wow. Boy, those fellas are falling behind, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. But remember, we have always been intuitive, and we have always taken care of the hearth, the home, and the family, the children, where men are usually very objective, and they are into the providing and the protecting and the acquiring. Not to say that men are not very, very good in ritualistic magic, but that is ritual magic, ceremonial magic. They do not usually deal with the everyday things that the women who are into magic do. And again, I'm not going to take away from women, because there are many, many powerful women that I will take and put up against any man,
and
including myself.
Absolutely. I was going to say, including my present guest. Well, let's go ahead and get into just a little bit of what we consider image magic. Now, the first magic, like I said, was using a flower and projecting your thoughts into whether someone loves you or they don't. Now, whether it's to find a mate or just a companion for the moment, or if it's something that's already in your life and you just want to be absolutely sure that this person is the right one. Tell me how you would project. You know, you would start concentrating on a thought, because it seems simple, but in a way it really isn't, because when you're purposely trying to do something, the image tends to blur. If it's a little more accidental, it tends to be a lot clearer, in my case anyway.
Well, if a person is a novice, an initiate, a neophyte, a chela, that means that they're just beginning. And to help, to induce, and to concentrate, it is very good to use imagery. And that imagery can be in the form of a picture of a person or an image in a candle, a wax figure, of course denoting the gender of the individual that you're going to use as the subject. And if it's going to be the emotions of the heart, and let's say that you've met a person and you want to attract that person a little bit more to you. You want him to notice you more. Well, then I would get myself a red male image candle. Now, if I could get a picture of that person, oh, that's wonderful, because now you have got imitative magic. Mm-hmm. If I don't, and if I can, let's say, design the image candle to look like that person, then again I have established that link of imitative magic. And so therefore, when I'm using red, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stimulate his attraction toward me. I'm going to stimulate his libido, his passion, and I'm going to increase the power and the energy of that by the harnessing of my mind, the honing it, and the shooting it out like a laser beam.
Wow.
Now, if I got real close to the person and we started dating, now I have access to him. So I can couple imitative with sympathetic magic, that which is in sympathy with the body. That means hair, clothing. You know, when you're with a man, you can always pick off a couple of things off of his jacket.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he's brushing his hair or you're running your fingers through his hair, you can always pick up a few strands and take them with you. And you can infuse them into that image doll. We're still dealing with red because what we want to do is we want to, again, attack the libido, the passion, the energy, the animal instinct of the man. We do not want to move into the next color, which would be pink for love, until we have a rapport, till we're dating, until we know that we are compatible and that this is the man for me.
Oh, absolutely, because you really do not want to, and we're going to get into magic do's and don'ts a little later on in the show, but you want to be absolutely sure that this is the person you want to be with before you start any kind of real deep magic.
Absolutely. I've had so many clients, Ramona, who have called me and say, Evelyn, I did the candle magic. I've got the man. I buried it. I don't know where I buried it to, and now I can't get rid of him. I'm serious. So you have to be careful what you do. You've got to make sure.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you may have a serious problem later.
By the way, on our webcam, I'm holding up two image candles. I believe it's the white male image candle and the pink male image candle.
Well, the pink, as I had mentioned, is anything to do with emotions as far as love, peace, harmony, balance. Excellent in pink. That is for your steadfastness. That is for the true love that is enduring and long-lasting and commitment. The white image would be for healing. It would also be for protection. If you have a person around you that has been having some difficulty within the health house, or let's say some emotional stress or discomfort, then by all means, depending on the gender, use yourself a white image candle. And then there are so many wonderful essential oils that have a vibration that are conducive. So when you are going to dress your candle, and I'm sure we'll get into dressing the candle and the anointing and consecration of the candles, these essential oils will also add their vibration and assist you in achieving your desired goals.
Oh, let me tell you. And I've got several different candles here, including a candle that I'm burning right now, which is an angel candle with pink wax in here, with a few essential oils that I graced it with before we started the show, including a little rejuvenation, a little bit of rosemary.
Excellent.
Let me remember the combinations here. And I believe I put a little bit of compel in there, just to get things jazzed up.
Well, see, compelling, all right, as well as your rosemary, is going to be so good because what you're going to achieve is having the feeling of control as well as, I would say, the lifting of the vibration of the area or the room that you're in. And so, therefore, you've combined. I like when people will take essential oils and that they will mix them. The rosemary is excellent, for protection, as well as, I would have to say, love, lifts the vibration of any room.
Yes, it does. And I did do that before the show started. Before Art woke up, I came in here and prepared the studio myself. I burned a little sweetgrass and, went and dusted out the corners, aired the room out, brought the candles in and my essential oils, anointed my candle, and just got myself mentally prepared for the show.
Right.
Because I want to be able to give everyone a good presentation of what we are trying to strive for, which is to give you more knowledge about a subject that has been, for lack of a better word, taboo in a lot of cases.
I've always tried, Ramona, to lift man's level of awareness and take away the fear of the unknown. Yes, magic has got a bad reputation, and I'm not saying that at times it's not rightfully so. You have many people out there that are practitioners that are using the power negatively. Knowledge is a double-edged sword. You have an opportunity to choose which way you want it to go, either black or white. But I like to teach people how they can change their lives, how they can empower themselves, how they can move energies by the use of natural magic. These tools were given to us by God. They are there for us to use. It's only us who will make the difference, whether it be positive or negative.
Well, that's everyone's choice, because that's one thing God gave us that is prevalent for everyone. It's a free will, and you can do as you want in this life, but be prepared in the end to pay the price if you decide you're going to go the wrong direction with your given talents. And it's tragic that, this is something that I've always kind of had a real bad feeling about is that girls, and Art brings this up with you every time you're on, young girls always tend to dabble in things they don't really understand, but boy, do they have an energy that won't quit.
Absolutely, and I like to teach people in their youth because they do have that power and that energy, but what they need is training and what they need is balance, understanding. When I was young, I played too, Ramona.
Oh, so did I.
I mean, I remember one young man I was going out with and we had an argument. He was driving a Corvette, and you know how easy they are. You can turn the wheel with one finger. Well, he was driving on the freeway holding on with both hands. Okay, stopped at the nearest phone and said, "Call Wick." Enough already. And then another time I had his horse do nothing but crazy eights. But that's when you're young.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yes, you can play. You can have a lot of fun. You can have some great adventures when you are using magic, and it should be used for good. But I have also been raised, Ramona, as a spiritual warrior, maybe because I was raised by men.
Yes.
Okay, who were very practitioners in the occult. And so I was always shown not only the positive side, but how to combat the evil and the negative side.
And there's been a great deal. You've had a lot of email about that, about individuals who have found themselves in a position of being victimized by other practitioners.
Ramona, you're right. I have had thousands of letters and hundreds upon hundreds of email. They do not realize how many people out there are practitioners, and what they are doing is they are sending out a negative force, an energy, and it is taking effect by changing people's lives, not for the better. They are removing them as far as a job could be, losing money, never being happy, never having love, having ill health. It hits in so many different areas. And here in California, I have so many clients of mine, you have no idea how many people in the industry are practitioners.
Oh, I can imagine.
No idea.
I can just imagine. And in other different fields, too, I would say politics probably has a great many people who practice.
Oh, yes.
I would say that people who are in high finance and business, real gamblers love to practice magic.
Oh, yes. And those people who are doing very big mergers, banking, politics, big deals, you have no idea how much they want the edge, or they want to take the edge away from someone else. They want to block them or stop them. And so what they do is they will hire a practitioner.
Oh, hedging their bets.
Absolutely. And so there are many times I'm called upon only because there is a particular star or a particular producer, director, movie, film editor, Oscar winner who has had a particular curse put on them, and I have been called upon in order to not only remove it, but to put up a shield of protection so that this person will not be penetrated again.
Ooh, boy, I tell you, if there's anybody I want on my side when the situation gets bad, it's you, my lady.
Well, thank you, Ramona. It's funny, Brad Steiger, about 25 years ago, when he was writing the book Psychic City, Chicago, and we were on the same lecture circuit, he says, Evelyn, you're one person I never want to get on the wrong side. And basically, I'm very nice.
Yes, you are.
Okay, but I have this feeling. I think there's a little difference between me and the Wiccan. The Wiccans have a creed that says harm none. Mine is give me justification and so be it. It is done.
Yes. Yes, and I agree with that. When the time comes that you have to get in there and get your hands dirty for good reason and good cause.
Oh, you're mine, honey. That's it. I will not get off of you.
Well, we're going to go.
That's the difference.
We're going to go ahead and cover a whole heck of a lot more in the next hour. My guest is Dr. Evelyn Paglini. Evelyn, just sit back for a few moments and relax. We're going to go ahead and get back to you. My name is Ramona Bell. This is Dreamland. And we will be back in just a few moments.